the Bible. Is it hard to understand?
When it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been broken, and the truth is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that He used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew language.
Christ said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But yet no one, no religious leader, no religious church out there anywhere can now identify the 12 tribes of Israel. Can we? God is quite simple, but it seems as if man makes understanding Him hard.
What are those mysteries?
The truth of your book and the truth will make you free. The Hebrew and Bible Academy, you're invited.
The East is where we're from.
Shalom, shalom. Come on in.
The 12 tribes of Israel. In 721 BC, the Assyrian king, he took us down, we fell. With a great escape, we went through the Euphrates.
Blessings, brothers and sisters.
The
Blessings.
Lord held the water still. To a land where no mankind dwelt, we went. The 12 tribes of Israel. So we be Manasseh, the Cubans, Ephraim from Puerto Rico, Naphtali from the Isles of Hawaii. The Lord is calling back Israel. Zebulun from Panama, Gad, the North American Indians, Simeon, the Dominicans. The highest gathering in Israel. The Arabs and Africans told us.
The Arabs and Africans told us at gunpoint to gather our wives and children, then sold us. Check 1 2, check 1 2. Yes, brothers and sisters, I'm Elder Ricard Shaw, the Gathered of Christ Church, here with our weekly podcast, broadcast. I would more so like to call it a broadcast. We've been doing this for a long, long time. The broadcasts that have now morphed into what the world calls podcasts today. We've been doing this for decades now almost. I'm Elder Ricard Shaw, the Gathered of Christ Church. For those who don't know, please hit the like button. Boy, do we have some key information to convey to you brothers and sisters out there, right? The Arabs and Africans told us at gunpoint to gather our wives and children, then sold us, right? What a lot of brothers and sisters probably didn't know is that they say the mic is giving feedback. Let me make sure. Y'all said the mic is giving feedback. It seems like everything is good on my side. Everything's good? They say it's feedback. Hold up, Brother Lawyer. Sounds computerized. There's a bit of an echo. Okay, let's see what's going on with this. Hold on. All right. Let's try something different here. Let's try something a little different. Right? Let's try this. This is better, y'all? This is better? All right. This is much better, correct? Right? The Arabs and Africans taught us to gather our wives and children, then sold us. Y'all right? Much better, right? Much better. Thank you. I'm Elder Ricard Shar, the Gathering of Christ Church, here with the weekly broadcast. Thank you, Elder Dell. A lot of y'all probably didn't know that when it comes to the slave trade and how they erroneously report on the history of the children of Israel being sold. All right. They tried to make it seem as if some white people, bounties came on the shores of Africa and grabbed us and all that and taken out. Listen, folks, they've lied about the whole thing when you look into the true research of how the children of Israel, mainly Judah, came over to the Americas. Okay. The first slave ship was called, one of the first slave ships that came to the shores of America was named the SS de Judah. Another thing that they don't like to report is the fact that the African government, the Igbo, who were Hebrew, we knew we were Hebrews back then, okay? Before the colonization of Europe and the Muslims coming in and the Arabs coming in destroying us, as the Bible prophesied they would seek to do, we knew we were Hebrews in Africa, okay? Now, here's the point. Those that they were selling into slavery were the rebellious of the Africans. We were the ones who were seeking to not agree with the colonization and the agreements our kings and princes and our governments were making with Europe. So if we didn't want to get down with the total destruction that we knew the Europeans were going to bring to Africa, that's right. It was our own leaders who would take the rebels, the political rebels, to sell them and break them in chattel slavery. How many of you knew this? So, right? See, and I believe that, a matter of fact, science have proven this. It's called epigenetics. Okay? That what's in our blood is in our blood. And the courage to stand against all adversity came over to the shores of America with us through our forefathers. And it was through that same bloodline of rebellion against Esau's empire that have led to the Great Awakening. In the same place where it was said, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto you that you are the sons and daughters of the living God. And that rebellious gene that led us here is the same gene that's freeing us. A lot of you didn't know this, folks, probably didn't know this. You thought it was, oh, it's me, woe is me, the white man came and grabbed me. Nah, the majority of our people who were sold were those who were rebelling against the colonizations and the change Europe was pressing on Africa. So I wanted to put that out there so that we can destroy some of those misnomers when it comes to the Hebrews, the blacks who came over here to America, all right? We are, in fact, the true children of Israel, according to the Bible, not according to some religion, okay? But I digress. What I want to talk about today is Ukraine, and I'm going to go into that in a moment. But before I go into that, and I have many announcements this evening, a letter came to me a few days ago. I was up 3 a.m. reading this letter. I was up 3 a.m, brothers and sisters, reading this letter. And the letter touched me so that I thought that I would share this letter. It touched me. And this letter reminded me of why the Most High called us to do what we do. Okay? And it's from a brother named Michael. I'm going to just keep it there. Okay? But it was such an encouraging blessing to read this letter and its outcome. Folks, you knew that listen, there's no way I could have kept this letter and the content within it just between me, right? And the brother who sent it. Because it's an inspiration. It's an inspiration, actually, brothers and sisters, for me. Because when you get bogged down into what this work is and realize that you are a prisoner, and that some of the greatest adversity that you'll have in this work isn't from the so-called enemy, but from amongst your own people. Right? I need y'all to think about this, folks. When it comes to exposing and trying to attack the work that have helped so many people, folks, it isn't white people out there seeking to tear the church down from the inside or try to give it a negative connotation. Okay? And sometimes that's frustrating. Right? You would think that they would realize that we're on the same team. Even if they feel justified in what they're doing. They're so selfish in their adamant hatred to tear down the church. They're so adamant in that selfishness. They don't care how many stumbling blocks get in the way from having others understand what they fail to appreciate. They're so selfish in what they're dealing with. They don't even realize the impact that this church is having by saving lives for someone who may fall on this video. And through the inspiration of the Most High, it may get them through another day. People don't even look at that when they're seeking with the devil to attack. But this isn't about them. I've said that. I've spoken that to say what I'm about to say right now. It's letters like this. It's letters like this that keeps the work of Christ and the importance of this work in perspective. Now, I'm going to talk about the Ukraine tonight and the biblical history and what this means for us now that Ukraine have come to the forefront. But before I do this, I have to read this letter. Do y'all mind me touching on this letter? Do y'all mind it? And this isn't the first response I'm going to have to this letter. Okay? The response from this is action. There's action after this letter. Thank you. I'm going to share it. Shalom, elder. Peace and blessings. Gabar has been speaking to me. It's speaking of the Bishop Gabar in South Carolina. Okay? Not to be confused with the other Gabar, who's no longer with this work. Okay? Peace and blessings. Gabar from South Carolina has been speaking to me about you for several years. I'm encouraged to introduce myself when I want to write this letter. My name is Michael. I'm going to leave it at Michael. I'm not going to have his full name here. My name is Michael, and I'm a 38-year-old. I'm 38 years old. My biological father is Native American. Therefore, I'm a proud Gadite, making a warrior face. He put that in parentheses. I'm currently serving a life sentence without the possibility of parole. for first-degree murder. My past is littered with the trash and the decaying stench of the sinful life I once lived. I could be here for many months telling you my whole life story. Growing up in a broken home, the mental and physical abuse, my life as a gang member, drug dealer, drug user, weed, alcohol, group homes, juvenile centers, county jails, the 11 years spent in a prison, countless war stories, as well as all of the heartache, pain, betrayal, loss suffered. But even though those things can inform you of my past, it's not when my life started, nor the story of my life. In order to tell you about my life, I need to start it when I truly began to live. And only then can you begin to know. I was in the county jail. I'm not going to announce what jail it was. It is. I was in the county jail, charged with first-degree murder. Only several months after doing those years, 11 years, in a different state prison. I received a paper from the courts that read, "The courts find that the court has now obtained jurisdiction in the above captioned manner, wherein the defendant is charged with a crime punishable by death." For approximately 9 months, I went month after month to a death penalty hearing. The state was seriously trying to pursue the death penalty, but had to wait for all of the forensics evidence to come back from the forensic lab. When the results came back, nothing was in the district attorney's favor to aid him in his deep-seated desire to pursue the penalty. Therefore, after approximately 9 months of fighting the death penalty, the court chose to withdraw from pursuing the death penalty. During those 9 months, I went through a lot mentally. I assaulted someone else, an inmate, and was thrown in a punitive segregation. In that cell, I started to really think about the meaning of life. If the state were to kill me, what is it about life that would really matter? Was it my children, my family, friends, goals, possessions, or achievements? I realized that none of those things would really matter. They were all vanity, because when my life is over, I cannot take those things with me. They will be forgotten. Hold on. Oh, I have to call you back. All right, I'm going to call you right back, okay? I'm going to call you back, all right? Yeah. All right. Sorry about that. Right? Sorry about that. I cannot take those things with me, and they will be forgotten. What would matter the most is if I was right with God or not. Even though I've experimented in the practices of many of the world's religions, I grew up following my tribal beliefs, customs, and practices. Therefore, I believed in the existence of one true God and the afterlife. Now listen to this. Elder, I had so much evil, pain, anger, sadness, remorse, and hate inside of me. It was like a poison slowly eating away at my soul. Ahiah worked a miracle in my heart. I fell down on my knees, mentally, physically, and spiritually exhausted, with my face against the cold, dry, dirty, stinking concrete cell floor, and screamed out to God with my soul. I prayed with my whole heart like I've never prayed before. With snot running out of my nose and a river of tears pouring down my face, I let everything inside of me out to God, throwing the heaviness of it all at his feet. In so many words, I told God that I know in my heart he is real. But every single religion claims sternly that their way is the right way, and their God is the right God, or even goddess. And since he has never came and stood in front of me telling me who he is, or what way is the right way, then I don't know who he is, how to truly live for him. So I ask God to forgive me for all I've ever done and to guide me into the correct knowledge, who he is, and how to truly live for him. I told God that if I needed to be praying to him through somebody, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, or anyone else, then I was praying to him through that somebody and to forgive my ignorance, but guide me to the truth concerning that too. For a long time, I felt something evil and controlling inside of me. While stretched out on the concrete floor in my own tears, I didn't ask God, to deliver me from the death penalty I was facing. But instead, I begged God to take the evil I felt inside of me out. While I prayed, I felt something heavy leave out of me. Immediately, I was able to see with a clarity I never had, kind of like a blindfold was removed. This truly scared me, feeling what was inside of me leave out of me and seeing so clearly how far down that dark rabbit hole I was, had me shaking. My nerves were in shock. I remember looking down at my hands shaking and trying to stop them from shaking. But it wouldn't stop. I was truly terrified. I knew with all my heart that that God took out of my body was not just evil, but also very powerful. I truly feared God for the first time in my life because I also knew that the God who made what was in me leave and who gave me the clarity I was able to see with is more powerful. I knew without a doubt that if I didn't truly give the rest of my life to this God, then the thing that was in me could get me again. And once again, I would be too blind to realize it. I vowed right then and there to live the rest of my life regardless of what was left of it, to please God. It felt like God reached far down in a very dark pit and pulled me out and placed me right beside him. Looking back now, I see how I was covered in my own snot tears in that stinking prison floor, yet at the moment I felt more cleaner than I've ever had, and not just more cleaner, but also more awake and more alive. I told God that I didn't even know what to call him or how I'm to truly go about living in a way that is right in his eyes. I told God to have mercy on me. And since I was getting out of punitive segregation, to send me to a cell block where I can learn how to truly live for him. Well, several days later, I was released from punitive segregation to a block. The block was called, it's a number, 1800. I sat down at one of the steel tables in the block and looked around, and I saw 3 guys sitting at a table across from me with a bunch of Bibles on their table. I used to despise Christianity, but I took this as a sign from God concerning the prayer I prayed. I asked those guys if they do Bible study. They said, yeah. Then I asked if I could join them sometimes, and they said, yeah. The older and taller of the 3 guys immediately invited me to come sit next to him to go over the Bible. I did. Then he pushed one of the Bibles on the table to me while asking me if I knew who Christ is. I've read the Bible before and knew that Christians teach that Jesus is God, come in the flesh. So I said, yeah, the Bible says Jesus is God. He asked me if the Bible actually says that. I said, yeah. And he told me some of the verses used to teach it. He calmly sat there and listened to me. Then when I was finished, he humbly proceeded to guide me all over the Bible, revealing to me that Jesus is not God, that the Trinity, God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit, is a false teaching. He clearly showed me how many people misunderstand the Bible. Answering some of the prayer, I prayed asking to know God's truth. This guy asked me if I knew what God's name is, and I said, yeah. The Bible says Jehovah. He told me no, then proceeded to have me read Exodus 3:13 through 15, while teaching me how to say God's true name, Ahia, I am, in Hebrew, and giving me some background information on the name Jehovah. I later learned that night that the older, taller guy teaching me, like he knew the Bible like the back of his hand, was Gabar from South Carolina. Gabar revealing God's true name to me was also a huge sign for me, being an answer also to the prayer I prayed asking God to know what to call him. Now that I knew I was being guided by Ahia to learn the Bible, I was hungry for more. I went all through my Bible, putting a dot beside every place I found that shows Jesus is not God. After a short while, my Bible was covered with dots everywhere. Gabar was brave enough to tell me that I can come and get him anytime I want to learn this Bible. Man, was he in for a ride, because I held him hostage every day, sometimes all day long, at the table to teach me. But I was not an easy person to teach. I was already taught many false teachings, my modern day Christianity, so Gabar had to prove them wrong to me with that Bible. I would stay up all night, sometimes days, studying this Bible, analyzing, connecting, and marking everything. Gabar would clean the cell block at night and walk by my cell, seeing me still studying. Gabar used the Bible to teach me the importance of combining my faith with strict obedience to Ahia. Gabar was careful to teach me the commandments. I learned that I had to keep the true Sabbath, the feast days, and as well as the dietary laws as part of Ahia's commandments. The feast of Passover came, and me, Gabar, and the other 2 guys I'm not going to say their names, kept the Passover together the best we could. We took turns reading about the Exodus, singing songs to Ahiah when I sound terrible at it, by the way. And we made a feast out of Doritos, chili with beans, pickle, beef sausage, and cheese. And you know, the heavens looking down at that, it was like a heavenly spread. The way the angels were looking at that spread. The whole tables were covered with each of us at a place around the table, digging in. We also kept the Feast of First Fruits together. I loved it, and I was hooked like a fish. I even drew a little picture for our Passover, and we all signed it. I would study most of the day, every day, even when I would study alone. I've never been good at speaking to people or considered myself apt to teach anyone, but people who would never come to learn from Gabar would come up to me and ask me to teach them what I learned. So I did. Man, look how the Most High is working. I prayed and asked Ahiah to bless me with wisdom like he did Solomon. I told Ahiah that I know he told Solomon he would make him wiser than anyone before him and after him. But I wasn't asking for him to make me wiser than Solomon, but instead to give me abundance of wisdom like Solomon. And that I wasn't praying to be able to judge others, but instead to be able to know his truth, and by knowing his truth, be able to walk with him in this truth. What is wild is that I've always had a learning disability. It would take me longer than most to comprehend what I read. After that prayer, learning became very easy for me. And what he probably didn't realize is that that spirit that was in him, that left him on that cold floor, was also blocking his comprehension. Folks, the dysfunction in our communities put a hard demon on the children, and I'm saying this, and by doing so, it tried to block their attempt to attack the brain. When you look at autism and all these others, and I'm going to talk about that this Friday, it's a blockage so that we don't come to the knowledge this brother was able to break through to see. Back on board. After the prayer, learning became very easy for me. When it came time for Gabar to go to the feds, he told me it was on me to keep the Bible studies going in on our block. On me to teach this truth. I didn't feel like I was ready for such a task, kind of like Moses when Ahiah told him he chose him to speak to the children of Israel. I didn't think the people would care to learn anything from me. I'm a nobody. And to my surprise, others seemed to really relate to me. And they, in the way I broke down the teachings of the Bible, I continued to study like crazy and teach others. I also studied the teachings and history of the many denominations of divisions of Christianity, world religions, archaeology, church history, Hebrew, and Greek science, biology, psychology, sociology, and much, much more. I became very good at exposing the false teachings of modern Christianity and being able to meet others on their level of religion to guide them to this truth. So before long, I had people in whatever block I was in come to me to learn the truth of Ahiah's word. Even the preachers from the churches who came to teach prisoners had to come to the table I taught. Since I refused to go to their services or be stuck standing in an empty room looking at us study from the window. So he became the pastor in the church, where if the pastors didn't sit with him, they wouldn't have nobody to mission to. Look at that, brothers and sisters. People from those churches accepted the truth. Some rejected it and didn't come back to my blog. Without trying, I became a preacher of a highest truth, one who seems to be able to connect with and help others in a way some people can't. I went to trial and was found guilty of first-degree murder and given a life sentence without the possibility of parole. But my elder, I'm so much more alive and free during this life sentence than I ever was when I was in society. I'm truly living now. My life started when I was truly born again and started living my life in very, very strict obedience to Ahia through Yeshua Mashiach. I wish the death of the victim in my case wouldn't have happened. But I don't think I would ever care to really live for and know God if I didn't go through the death penalty process. Like I said, I'm doing a life sentence until I die or released by the grace of Ahia someday. But if I was given a choice to be physically free and not ever be able to have the relationship with Ahia I have today, or be here in prison until I die, but have my relationship with Ahia, then I would be more than glad to die right here in prison. True life lies with Ahia through Yeshua Mashiach, and not in this world or anything that the world has to offer. Today, I continue to preach the Most High God's word, striving to live like my Lord Yeshua Mashiach, helping others, writing a book about Ahia's truth, helping others to educate prisoners in Ahia's word. I'm just a nobody, trying to lead others to the only true God who saved my soul on that snotty, tear-soaked, cold and dirty and stinking concrete jail floor. Shalom to my elder. Oh. Elder Lawyer, you there?
Yes, sir.
Is this not something that you would see strictly with the disciples who decided to live their life for Christ when they were thrown in prison, and how Paul persecuted the church and he ended up being one of the main proponents to help save it?
Yeah, exactly. I was just about to say this is something almost straight out the book of Acts, what we're seeing here.
And I'm gonna tell you, brother, when it was 3 a.m, I picked up Deacon Shawan gave me that letter. After the academy, I put it in the back of the car. Right? This is how deep this is, Elder Lawyer. When I came home, I was driving the next day and that mail was in my back seat. I went to get the equipment that I would use for the academy to take out of the car, because you know I carry this stuff from one place to the next. And the letter was in the back seat and I grabbed it, put it on my side bed thing, and said, I didn't know what it was. I'm like, I'll just answer it later. But it would look like it was thick, some thick papers. So when everyone would sleep, I opened it up and I read the first page, and I had to go into the kitchen to read the rest. Brother, I fell to my knees and I thank the Most High for his mercy. And I prayed that the brother would feel the Holy Spirit resonate from where I was, to let him understand that, listen, we are from the same mold, the same body, and that one day we'll do whatever we can to help him. It doesn't matter where he is, okay? And if we have to totally help finance and help him and make sure stuff is on his books and he get all the history that we have to free our brothers in prison, that's what we'll do. The Most High have created an apostle in prison. So I just wanted to share that. And I wanted to share that for you brothers and sisters before I go into this lesson here. Anything you want to say on it, Elder Lawyer, or are you good?
No, sir.
All right.
No, sir. Let's get into it.
All right, okay. I just wanted to say that I wanted to read that and share that to the brothers and sisters out there so that you can stay continually encouraged to what this truth is. It doesn't matter what we've gone through. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how unworthy we may think as individuals we are. The Most High can use all of us. And it gives us an insight to the importance of what? A work. See, let me tell you, this truth is some of what you would call the work of the gospel is some of the most selfless work you would find, because you have to sacrifice yourself for others. And that comes with all the negative, whether it be being persecuted, whether it be variances and hatred, people mocking you, it doesn't matter what the devil try to do to disrupt the work. Because at the end of the day, if you stand fast, the Most High on the other end will let you understand the planting that was done through adversity. Right? And this is how the appreciation come around full circle. Let me tell you, there's not a price you can put on a soul being saved. It's unquantifiable. This is one of the greatest rewards for the spirit that I've ever received. And there's been many. This is one of the greatest rewards I've ever received in this work. The reward to know that the Most High allowed us to do a work that can reach well beyond any place we could ever dare to go. Okay? That the Most High can use a work, and that if we stay rooted and consistent, it doesn't matter. Listen, of course, there's going to be issues. There's going to be faults. No one's perfect. But to stay consistent leads to salvation. And let me tell you, I'll always have this letter with me. It's a reminder. It's a reminder, brothers and sisters, believe it or not, to actually confirm why we're called. I'll always have this letter with me, because even this ministry in of itself, even I understand what it takes. I understand to some degree to be in a dark place. Not to this degree, but to ask the Most High, if you're going to help me now. And if you do this and reveal your work in me, I'll dedicate my life to you. I'll dedicate my life to the end. And I've been in dark places before and realized that there was something present that have led us to the ministry you see today. I'll always have this letter with me. Thank you, brother, and I'm coming to see you. And thank you, Bishop Gabar in South Carolina, for being that pillar, taking the gospel where you were. Whether or not it was justified that you had to be there. We all know that it was some bogus stuff, right? But all in all, the Most High sent you there. And now there's a pastor in that particular, a pastor that the Most High have brought from nothing, that's there to free God's people. What better way to set up a ministry? All right, Elder Lawyer, let's go.
Yes, sir.
Let's go. What am I going into today? First of all, I would like to say all praises be to the Most High in the name of Yeshua. I'm Elder Ricard Shiar of the Gathered of Christ Church here with your weekly broadcast. And what we're talking about is Satan's seat, Ukraine. How is it out of nowhere, right after the so-called pandemic, it seems like one thing ends and another stops. One thing stops and another starts up in its place. We went from one crisis to another crisis, right? Ukraine. What is this fascination with the United States and the European body financing the Ukraine, which was at one point a part of Russia? What makes them so special? To a degree that they'll receive citizenship, that they can receive dual citizenship, right? Even in the United States, in different parts. They can go to Israel also and get citizenship. Why? Well, we're going to talk about this. And we're going to give you some history. We're going to give you some history of how this connects directly to Satan's seat. Don't forget the Bible, Paul even stated that man of sin at the very end would be revealed. Now, the Christian church, of course, they're off. The Jesuits have misdirection and all types of deceit when it comes to having us not realize that it's not one man we must identify, but a people. Right? To know the spirit of Antichrist. The Bible states there's many Antichrists. Right? So let me show you all this real quick. And we're going to bring it up to date. And this is going to be nice and quick. Nice and quick. Now, let's talk about this. Let's work with starting with this, right? Breaking news, right? Let me get it. Let me make sure I have everything set up correctly here. Right? Give me 1 second. All right, let's start here. Let me put up a picture of Zelensky, the president of the Ukraine. Right? Let's start with him. Right? Now, there were reports months ago of Zelensky going before Congress to get more funding for the Ukrainian war. We went straight from the Ukrainian war, and then what? The Israeli-Palestinian war. All of these things are just one after the other, right? Are they related? Could they be prophetically really one and the same? Right? I'm going to pull you in a second, Elder Lawyer, okay? Just bear with me.
Yes, sir.
Zelensky, the president of the Ukraine. President of the Ukraine. Right? So what does that have to do with America? Right? Now, brothers and sisters, do y'all know that, and I'm going to show you, that he was an actual actor. He was an actual actor in Ukraine on a television show with a role as the president of the Ukraine before he became the president of Ukraine. Who knew that? But that ain't where I want to go. I want to go way back into ancient history real quick, if you can, if you will. Entrance gate to Greek temple Zeus unearthed in Turkey. Archaeologists excavating the ancient city of Magnesia to hope to fully restore the 2,300-year-old sacred structure. Now, this was being reported September 29, 2021. Right? Why are they looking to restore the old sacred structure? In the midst of a time that we're going through, the whole world has a bug. Folks, and this particular story flew right over our heads. What's going on that they're looking to reconstruct a temple to Zeus unearthed in Turkey? And you may ask, well, what does this have to do with the Ukraine? Well, you have to look at the people and proximity. Right? So in order to understand this, Elder Lawyer, right, we first have to go to the book of Revelation, if you will. Elder Lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Help me out. This is just a Bible lesson. Okay? This is a Bible lesson. There's nothing personal. We're going to show you how you can look at the Bible prophetically, because we're in the end times that Christ talked about in the book of Revelation. Unless you understand this, you don't understand what's going on geopolitically. And you'll begin to understand on some level how they're reporting what's going on geopolitically, which may be correct to some level from a geopolitical level. But is there a more deeper level that most misunderstand or don't know altogether, not realizing the characters, the actual characters in this grand production? Elder Lawyer, let's read about the church of Pergamon. Let's go directly to Revelation 2, verse 12. Revelation 2, verse 12.
Yes, sir. Revelation 2 and 12. And to the angel of the church in Pergamos write, these things saith he which have the sharp sword with two edges. I know thy works, and where thou dwellest, even where Satan's seat is.
Even where?
Even where Satan's seat is.
Even where Satan's seat is. Right? Read.
And thou holdest fast my name, and hast not denied my faith.
So they had the name of the Most High in Christ and the true faith that was established before the Romans came in to destroy true Christianity, to only hijack it and replace it with this janky thing we call Christianity today. Read.
Even in those days wherein Antipas was my faithful martyr, who was slain among you where Satan dwelleth.
Where Satan dwelleth. Well, brothers and sisters, understand this. This church is the church of Pergamos. Right? Now understand this. Pergamos is in Turkey. Different parts of Turkey. We're going to go into that. How does this link directly to the Ukraine? Right? And the Khazars. It's all connected. It's all connected, right? So let me now, I'm going to finish reading the article. So obviously, this is where the Satanist would go, who had high political influence and control over the world, to get directions from the dark world, the Prince of Darkness, on how to run his governments. Okay? Samael, or Satan himself, is the god of the Romans. Now, Christ pointed out the same area, folks. He pointed out the same area we're reading about right here. And this is from the Smithsonian Magazine. Why would they seek today, in our current time, to build a temple of Zeus in the same place, which they know is a gate, folks? This is a spiritual gate where Satan himself used to operate with the governments of Rome and those who were in this particular area, called Pergamum. Yes, folks, when you look in the Greek, it's Turkey. Right? Now, the Bible already told us that that man of sin must be revealed. So let's read a little bit of it, and then I'm going to show you all a few maps. In the early 1890s, German archaeologists Carl Humann unearthed remnants of 2,300-year-old temple of Zeus, who we all know as Satan. Zeus is also, folks, believe it or not, Zeus is also the name that's worshipped in modern day Christianity, Jesus. Okay? It's invoking Satan himself. Okay? Zeus also goes back to Jovi, and Jovi goes back to what? Yahweh. In the ancient Greek of Magnesia, located is now the Aydin province of Turkey. The dig site was the reburied, all but unforgotten Gürkum Kaldemir, an archaeologist, at Ankara University became excavation there some 20 years ago. Now, I got some white papers from the University of Pennsylvania that I may share with y'all a little later, okay? If I have time. If not, I'll just dive into that. I'll probably bring it out this coming Sabbath, all right? Now, what else we have here? What else we have here before I go in? Right? There's reports out there that Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, after getting all this money for this war against Russia, Zelensky is moving to the U.S. and given citizenship, says whistleblower. Okay, now that's just a story out there, a possibility. Who's this guy moving all around and all this others? Where so much money is straining America to support Ukraine, to support every other people except the people who are suffering here in America, who are the children of Israel, who came over in cargo slave ships, who've been conquered by the Romans, such as the North American Indians from the tribe of Gad, the Colombians and the Mexicans and all those who were colonized. But yet, everywhere this guy goes, money follows him. For some reason, the governments of the world deem this government so important that they're willing to exhaust and strain the treasury of America to support the initiatives with this particular guy, Zelensky. Now, how does that benefit any of us? And why is it being allowed? Well, let me show you a few things. Here is a picture. Here is the picture, folks. Now, this Pergamos right here, these are the areas of Asia Minor where some of the 10 tribes were scattered. right? Right here in this area. That Paul and others, Peter, began to go in the ghettos to convert our people back to the knowledge of the truth. And yes, this is what you would call Asia Minor. And this is where Satan's seat was back then. This is where the elite would go to sacrifice to Satan. Right? Christ warned us of this. Who are these people? Well, we're going to talk about it tonight. And I'm not going to give my own opinion. Right? We're going to go through it real quick from a Jewish source, Aish.com, a European source, let me put it that way. And anytime, Elder Lawyer, you would like to jump in, when it's time, you can jump in, just let me know. Because I just want to lay it out first, if you will. Right? So why are they looking to rebuild Zeus' temple? What does that have to do with any of these religions that are out there? And the Christians who are supporting and backing all these initiatives, do you know that your money is going towards rebuilding Satan's temple? Right? Right in Turkey, the same place the Bible identifies as Satan's seat, which means the ideology and the ideology to build Satan's power and government against his people would come directly from these particular people who are connected to that gate. So they would get the plans to destroy our people through these particular ritualistic scenarios. Right? But let me go here. Let's keep it on Ukraine for a moment, because I used to wonder why out of nowhere they pull supporting Ukraine out of their orifices when there's people suffering right here in America. Why are the Ukrainians so important? Well, Aish website has a few things that you probably would want to know, where they're giving everyone out there the insight of the connection between Ukraine and the Jews. Key moments of Jewish history have occurred in Ukraine. With a huge buildup in Russian troops along Ukraine borders in recent weeks, many people are fearful that Russia will invade Ukraine. Ukraine is a complex and diverse nation with incredibly rich Jewish history. Huh? Okay, that's interesting. That is interesting. Here are 12 facts about Jews in Ukraine. Jews live in Ukraine since ancient times. So what is the finances of America going towards here? Right? Jews have been living in present-day Ukraine since ancient times. The ancient Greek city of Cernunnos, near present-day Sevastopol, located on Crimean Peninsula, which was formerly part of Ukraine and was annexed by Russia in 2014. Oh yeah, by the way, folks, did y'all know that Khazaria, the Khazars capital, was in Ukraine? Did y'all know that? Looky here. Okay. Let me pause this because this is just a distraction. And let's focus on number 2. The kingdom of Khazars converted to Judaism. Now, these are not my sources. This is from their particular websites. Eastern Ukraine was home to the Khazar Empire. Look at this. A kingdom of Turkic people, Turkey again, Satan's seat, that arose in southeastern Russia in the 6th century and extended as far west as Kiev, the capital of present-day Ukraine. In the 8th century, the Khazar king converted to Judaism. So they converted, that means they weren't bloodline Israelites. They converted into a religion being pressed between two strengths, between Christianity, an Abrahamic religion with a foundation of many numbers, and Muslims pressing them on the other side, having an Abrahamic foundation with many numbers. So for political reasons, more so, there was a conversion of these particular Khazars. But what aren't they telling you? See, I'm going to fill in the blanks for you. And you can find this out in your very own Jewish encyclopedia. In your very own Jewish encyclopedia. If you've been in the academy, a lot of you have this information and sources already. Okay, I'm just going to touch on them. Well, the Khazars that converted between the 8th and the 11th century to Judaism, well, they came from a sect out of Rome called the Basilians in the early 3rd century. So 500 years before they actually converted, they were in Rome, came into the area, and became Khazarians. They weren't originally the foundation people, the Japhetic people of Khazar. It tell you in the Jewish encyclopedia that the Khazars became Khazars who were Basilians, who came from Rome and converted. And at that time, when you look at other sources, their religion was what you would call the religion of the serpent people before converting into Judaism as Khazars. Many people make a mistake by claiming that because of that geography, they must be from Japheth. But I'm dropping a dime on you here. Look up in your Jewish encyclopedia, Basilians who went into Khazaria. These are they who came with what? Who came with Roman initiatives to establish governments and power of finance in those areas. Eventually became a strength within the area of the Ukraine. They will be impressed on either side between the 8th and 11th century, and those Khazars converted into what we call Judaism today. It's not my opinion. It's facts you can look up yourself. All right? Now, let's go back. According to their source, Eastern Ukraine is the home of where the Khazars converted. Now, these people aren't original people from there. These are Edomites who went into Khazaria as the Basilians. You got that? And they converted into Judaism. So they're telling you right off that these Khazars are Jewish according to religion, conversion, and not as the lost tribes of Israel, as we read in the Bible. Okay? Now let's go to the next one. Number 3. A matter of fact, let me show this. Here's an archaeological find from their sources. The Khazar Moses coin found in Spillings Hoard and dated 800. It is inscribed with Moses is the messenger of God instead of the usual Muslim text, Muhammad is the messenger of God. So this is archaeological proof of these conversions, and it was sealed and minted in their coins. Okay? Now, let's go down. Let's go to number 3. Ukraine. Now, we have to realize a lot of finances go to Ukraine, and we never wondered why. Well, Number 3. Let me get it here. Ukraine was a refuge to Jews in the Middle Ages. Okay, are you following me here? So it was a refuge, similar to how, right? And we're speaking of Judaism right here, just like the state of Israel became a refuge for the Europeans that were in Eastern Europe and others who end up going into Israel today. It became a refuge for them. Well, this isn't the first time that happened. Ukraine was that one place where they could all go and have a safe place, quote unquote, safe place to worship freely without the fear of outsiders disturbing their religious rights and privileges, right? So it happened before, right? Are you following me here? Number 3. Number 4, Ukrainians blame Jews for their landlord's greed, okay? That was a spat there in 1569 where there was some things going on when it comes to financial indiscretions that began to become arguments at that time amongst those who were dealing with that, and something fell out with that, right? There's more. Right? There's many more, right? But I want to go all the way down, right? I want to go all the way down because they're bringing us to our current time, right? It tell you number 10, an ideology. Modern Zionism was born in Ukraine. Now, Zionism is an ideology, right? And the ideology is, to protect Jews first and foremost, but some on the outside may deem that ideology or some part of it as it could be something destructive in the ideology if you're not a part of the people actually getting protected. Some view it that way, right? Because you can protect yourself to some degree, and everyone should be able to do so, but not at the expense of harming others. And some people may think that this ideology is so pro one people, it doesn't matter how it falls negatively on others on the outside of the group it's protecting, right? So Zionism is an ideology, okay? It says here, Zionism was born in the Ukraine. I'm not saying this. They're saying this. Right? Then it goes to 11. 1.5 million Ukrainian Jews were murdered in the Holocaust. So there's a close connection, as we can see throughout history, between Jewry and the area carved out of that area for specifically, in large number, not specifically, but in large number, those who are of the Jewish faith. So understand what a lot of our money and tax money is going to. Right after the Ukraine, billions of dollars went into the Ukrainian war to fund this. And then right after that, the war in Israel today. All right? So I'm going to keep it there. Let's go down, because now we have to get to the root of this. Something that most people probably didn't know. There is your president, Zelensky. President Zelensky, right here, of the Ukraine. The one that's before Congress asking for all these finances right after America have suffered so after the all the money poured into that. And now all of this money being poured here. And this is President Zelensky at the Western Wall. Ukraine's president is a Jewish comedian who once played a president on TV. All right. Now, what I'm doing is I'm just showing you, this is from their site. This is not conspiracy theory. He was an actual actor who played a president on TV and then became the president in the same place that was Khazaria. That's connected to Turkey when you look at the geography, where the Bible, Christ pointed out and said Satan's seat is. Satan's seat's there. Right? Zelensky, who was just 41 when he became Ukraine's president, shot to fame in Ukraine when he appeared on a television show there called Servant of the People, in which he played an honest president. His fellow countrymen were sick of corruption and elected the Jewish actor with a landslide 73% vote. President Zelensky is Jewish and is Ukraine's former Prime Minister, Vladimir Groysman, as he faces 100,000 Russian troops massed at his borders. President Zelensky is hoping to fend off Russian invasion and has appealed to the example of the Jewish state, which vigorously defends itself from external enemies. Both Ukrainians and Jews value freedom, and they work equally for the future of the state to become to our liking and not to the future which others want for us. Israel is often an example for Ukraine. Huh? Do y'all see this? Hit that like button. If what I'm showing you is connecting the dots and resonate with everything the Bible have been bringing forth and exposing in the last days, hit that like button. So, how is the United States back in a foreign entity, a war that has nothing to do with your taxpayer? When you pay your taxes, a lot of your taxes going towards all of these other scenarios while the people are suffering right here. Right? Now, again, this is from a site. You can all go there. It's from their own site, citing past history. The site Aish, that has a lot of history there. I used to love going here because there's some other things on here that's quite interesting. Okay? And this article, January 30th, 2022, was by Dr. Yvette Altmiller. Okay? Right here. It's not my opinion here. Okay? Now, I need y'all to check this out now. Let's check out something here, if you will. Right? 1 second. Stick with me here. This is Al Jazeera. And this is some Israeli-Palestine conflict, as you can see at the top. It says, a real opportunity. Israel urges Ukrainian Jews to migrate. About 100 Ukrainian Jews have arrived in Israel, and government officials say some 10,000 are expected in the coming weeks. Right? And that's over there. There's been an influx of many Ukrainians coming into the United States getting immediate citizenship within America. Finances, backing, all of that under wartime financing. Right? Let me show you. And I'm talking about upward in the tens of billions of dollars. Right? I need y'all to check this out. 100,000. Look at this. I need y'all to see this. I need y'all to see this. I'm not even going to talk about the billions of dollars, right? Let's just look at this. The United States government announced it would admit 100,000 Ukrainians, likely between 2022 and 2023. The Biden administration launched Uniting for Ukraine on April 25th, 2022, as part of their effort to admit 100,000 Ukrainians. Now, do you think they're coming over just to... Now, these people ain't going to be weren't on the sidewalk. Okay? They were able to transition right in society without anyone recognizing. Why? Because they look exactly like the rest of the dominant society. And I'm talking about housing, funding, all of that. Right after the pandemic, when America have already been suffering and so many people have been losing so much after being stifled and traumatized from what happened 2021. Can y'all see this? Now, I have many videos on the amount of money that's justified by the United States, Congress, and others that have given this money to Ukrainians who have nothing to do with the building of this country, and a war over in the Middle East that has nothing to do with our people who are suffering right here, who are in fact, according to the Bible, from the lost tribes of Israel. So I don't know what's going on with all these so-called faith-based religions talking about support Israel when your people is suffering in your communities right now, sleeping on the streets and all that, who are from the physical lost tribes of Israel according to history in the Bible. So we have to look at the hypocrisy there, the contradiction. Where we hear support Israel, but no one is going into the lost sheep who've always suffered under the hands of colonists. Right? So I did some more research for you all, brothers and sisters. I'm going to show you where we're going here before I open up the calls. Right? Right? I need y'all to see the Pergamon in the Bible again. See that? Pergamum. Right? Let's get it again. Pergamum. Look at there. Turkey. Y'all see that right here? The same place where the Bible says Satan's seed is. Same place. So they took Satan's program, talking about those that were defying the church at that time, from this area right here. And see, Christ was pointing pointing out their destructive political initiatives to destroy the truth. And these would what? They would look to extinguish or destroy the spirit and knowledge that came out through Christ and the disciples that would one day awaken the 12 tribes of Israel. They understood the prophecy and they realized Christ stood in the way of it. But Christ pointed out to us. He said, listen, I'm going to give you a map so that you can utilize it in the future to understand what their true initiatives are in the earth and not fall for it. I'm going to give you a map back to history to show you that they're just seeking to open up gates to continue to worship the fallen prince of darkness and to set up his governments. And his governments that he would establish, Satan with certain people would seek to exterminate the lost tribes of Israel in an attempt to stifle the prophecy. Right? To stifle the prophecy. Right? And that's why the Bible talks about Satan's seat. Now, I did this. All right. I wanted to know what's the total migration of Israel by select country since 1948 from the Jewish Virtual Library Project. Right? Folks, and I'm looking at the numbers from the areas all the way down, going all the way up. Right? The numbers going up, 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 up. All the way up to what? Right? What they call migrants or immigrants from different parts of the world. Right? France, UK, Argentina, different parts, right? Speaking of European Jews in particular. And the migration in of itself, not counting the children being had, almost 2 million. And now what we see is really, believe it or not, a strong Eastern European presence in the Middle East right now, where now they have the numbers to do what we're seeing in the earth right now. Now, when you look at these numbers, folks, the amount of financing that it took for all these people to migrate for all these years since World War I, World War II, the zeros are off the charts. Don't even look into the amount of financing that happened from that time to now. It's just too astronomical. It's off the table. I mean, the trillions and trillions of dollars. Now, let's bring this around full circle. And what I'm pointing out in particular that cannot be denied, folks, listen to me. Obviously, there's some people that are politically prioritized over others. All you have to do is follow the money. But what about the lost sheep of Israel? What about God's people? Right? Now, an elder lawyer. Now, I didn't say that, listen, this was their. Let me go here now so they can't claim that I'm making any type of assertion or an opinion on my own. Okay? They mentioned here on the list, okay, let me show you, of the Great Conversion. Hasidic Judaism, number 7. Hasidic Judaism started in Ukraine. They pointed that out, right? Which showing that Ukraine is a highly populated Jewish country. Some would argue or say that it really could have been the first place where they were in number as a people outside of the state of Israel or the Middle East, that this would be the original place before they finally were able to go into Palestine. Some would argue that, right? So I just found this quite interesting that on their sites it said that the kingdom of Khazar converted to Judaism. So they're not denying that it was a conversion, right? So if I converted into the religion, what was I, or what was my ethnicity and true religion before the conversion? Who is my father? Not what religion I'm converting into. Who's my father? We submit that I submit according to the research I've done. Now, this is a religious research, a theological research. The research I've done, like I've mentioned before, that these Khazarians that converted to Judaism wasn't from the original people of Khazaria. I submit that the history I looked into from the Jewish Encyclopedia, that these particular people came from Rome as the Basilians in the 3rd century and gained political and religious power by the 8th century. And at that time, they were being pressed by the Christians on one side and the Muslims on the other side, the Arabs, and decided to convert. Okay. And through that conversion, which all three has a root in Abraham, they could begin to operate and do business without being moved out of the way from the more populated religions that were in place during that time. So the same as we see during the time of Hyrcanus, there was another conversion for the sake of what? For the sake of political convenience. So then, now let's put the conversions and take the conversions off the table. Okay. Where are the bloodline of the lost sheep of Israel? Not what religion you want to be a part of, your political persuasion. And folks, let me tell you, I have no issues with a people looking out for their own people. Okay. And is willing to go by any means to do so. I have no issue with that. But my question swings back to the lost sheep of Israel. When are we going to take priority? When are we going to take priority with our people to do the same? Listen to what I'm telling you again. I'm saying it again. People might not agree with the methods of other people who look out for their own. But you cannot deny, they look out for their own. Even at the expense of taxpayers. Because think about it. If it becomes an interest to be back geopolitically, then Congress would have to vote in to agree to finance whatever that is. When are we going to get on code like that? Not stating, or and don't even think about don't even think about getting anything from the governments and others by doing so. Right? But all in all, wouldn't that be a fascinating thing if we looked out for our own interests? Instead of trying to seek to back everyone else's interests while they are squashing us at the bottom like bugs. And one thing you have to give Ukrainians and others credit for, let me tell you, they're unrelenting. While you're sleeping, they're working for the betterment of their people. Okay? Let me go here real quick. Getting back on task here. The kingdom of the Khazars converted to Judaism. So then it comes to, okay, you converted to Judaism. Who are you? That means if you converted to Judaism, you cannot be a part of the physical 12 tribes of Israel. Who are you? Now, I'm not going to wait for any of them to answer that, because they have the right to do what they're doing. Under the powers we see in the structure we're under today, we'll leave that there. It's upon us, brothers and sisters, not to ask them. I put it out there many times, ask them one-on-one. Well, okay, outside of your religion, who are you? And what does that mean for me? Right? And I got different answers. And brothers and sisters, we're to a point where we're not seeking validation or an answer anymore. It's what they're not saying. That's what's resonating. Why can't we accept we're the people? Because they're not saying we aren't. When I say the people, that we're the Israelites according to bloodline, not a religion we've converted to. And that's the clear distinction. I would never get in the way of someone following whatever they would like to follow in a conversion. They have the freedom to do so. But if we're talking about Bible prophecy right now, if we're talking about Bible prophecy, and the Bible says that at the very end, that all nations will come against us in a desolation, it's upon us to get on code to understand that even if you don't accept you're an Israelite, they're going to come after you like you're one, because they understand the prophecy. Whether or not you want to accept your father's promise, and that promise is through blood. Whether you want to accept the truth of it or not, we are being destroyed strategically, geopolitically, from the powers that be, strictly because we're from the lost sheep. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Whether we want to accept it or not, systematically they're working in the background to destroy and to target a people through bloodline, understanding what it means for their future prophetically. And this is why they were against Christ. Now, folks, anything that I'm talking about now, forget about, let me tell you, forget about going to the Christian church to get answers on anything we're talking about now. The Christian church have been fully compromised. Okay? The powers that be that controls the political structure own the Christian churches. So this is why, even though if the Christian church know that there's something wrong, and that if people are operating contrary to the Christ that they believe in the churches, and will even denounce their Christ before the world, Christians are afraid to point out who Christ pointed out. Christ pointed out Satan's seat. Christ pointed out in Revelations 2:9 and 3:9. And matter of fact, Elder Lawyer, let's read it. Because Christ gave us a message too. You with me, Elder Lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Elder Lawyer. Let's go to Revelations 2:9. And see, the Bible says that man of sin must be revealed. And guess what? I don't believe the powers that be care that we know now. They don't care. The deed is done. They've gotten in and have totally gutted Christianity, because you have people who are operating in high places who hate the thought of our people believing in Christ. So eventually, just like they would get in anywhere geopolitically and do what they have to do, eventually through TBN and all these other Christian networks and all these others, they done totally came in. That's right, through modern day Christianity within the United States and gutted the black church. I'm going to show you how strong the deception is over our people who are still in those conclaves of straight paganism. I'm talking about our people now in particular. Our people are so delusional within the Christian church. We'll all get together in the Christian church and say, well, support Israel, support Israel, support Israel. And if you want to do so, that according to what you think, that's your business. In America, you have the freedom to do so. But our people are so ignorant, we'll say support Israel, not even realizing that the people suffering, including you, in these ghettos are from the lost sheep of Israel. And you can't even support yourself. But yet, you're always seeking to support someone else. But who's going to support the Israelites in desolation? That's how destitute and broken the black church is. That's how destitute and broken the black church is. Elder Lawyer, let's read Revelations, let's read Revelations 2 and 13 again, if you will.
Yes, sir. You want Revelation 2 and 12?
2 and 12, yes.
All right. Revelation 2 and 12. And to the angel of the church in Pergamos write, these things saith he which hath the sharp sword with two edges. I know thy works, and where thou dwellest, even where Satan's seat is.
Even where Satan's seat is. And where was that? Pergamos. So Christ was identifying the location they would be operating from geopolitically in the last days. It links directly to where? It links directly to Turkey and the Ukraine. He told you this is Satan's seat. This is where Satan will be doing all of his geopolitical movement to bring in the New World Order. Christ was pointing them out back then. And then a few verses before that, it stated what? Let's read it.
Revelation 2, verse 9.
Revelation's the 2nd chapter and the 9th verse, right? It says what?
I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich.
He says he know the hell we're going through, the impoverished state we're in, but we're rich because what? The royal blood of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, even Christ runs through our veins. Okay, you can't take that away. No matter how you promote our image negatively before the world, you cannot take what runs through our brains. I mean, our veins. And what runs through our veins is the royal blood of Israel, of Judah. That's why Christ said, he know we're suffering, but don't give up. You are rich. You got the bloodline of the heavenly people on earth, the chosen people on earth. And I know the blasphemy, what?
And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews.
Now, this is talking about not the ones, it's saying, I know those who are the bloodline lost sheep, but then I know the blasphemy who say they are the ones. Now, you know this can't be talking about us because our people don't know to say that we're Israelites. Now, this is what Christ is saying here. I'm not saying this. Christ is saying this. And are what?
And are not.
And are not, but what?
But are the synagogue of Satan.
But are the synagogue of Satan. So what I did was, and I don't think I can, matter of fact, finish reading before I go into the next point, Elder Lawyer. Read that. Read
Yes,
that.
sir, verse 10.
Come on.
Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer.
So then Christ came back and told us we are not to fear the things that we'll suffer. Because these will be working behind what? Behind closed doors. In high political circles. To conspire against the elect or righteous. And Christ says, what? Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Read.
Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison.
So they'll be seeking to set up what? The prison complex. The industrial prison complex to aim towards destroying Judah. They'll throw you into prison. They'll look at what you do naturally and criminalize it. See? Read.
That ye may be tried. And ye shall have tribulation 10 days.
And you shall have tribulation 10 days. And that 10 days goes into, if you were sentenced during that time into their prison for 10 days, they put you on the rack, torture and all that. And you probably wouldn't make it past the third or fourth day. It's talking about what? Plans to criminalize or imprison people. And that's where they can do their little work behind the cover of incarceration. See? That's right. Christ was pointing it out. And the Bible stated that man of sin had to be revealed. Had to be revealed. And then we go around full circle. And I'm just connecting dots here. All the way down. Where it says modern Zionism was born in the Ukraine. See that? And then it goes all the way down to who? Zelensky, the president of the Ukraine, signing an agreement at the Western Wall in Jerusalem. See? Zelensky, who was just 41 when he became the Ukraine's president, shot to fame in Ukraine when he appeared on a hit television show. They're called Servant of the People, in which he played an honest president. So hold on. Elder Lawyer, I have to pull this up. How much money has Ukraine received from the United States since the war? What are we financing here? The Council on Foreign Relations. Let me pull this up. All right. All right, let me pull this up. And this is a reputable source directly from the the Council on Foreign Relations, right? Since the war began, the Biden administration and the United States Congress have directed more than $75 billion. That's with a B. To the Ukraine, which includes humanitarian, financial, military support, according to Kyiv Institutes for the World Economy, German Research Institute. Right? 75 billion and counting. Huh? Same people who say that I got your back. Blacks, you had my back. The black community, now I'm have your back. Huh? 6 different charts. And now you see there's a connection. Okay, there's no coincidence. A connection between who they financing for Ukraine all the way to the war we see, the continuing war, because it never stopped just because the virus and others took the news off of the front page and out of the sights of people. Didn't mean those wars weren't going on even during the time of the cough. So to continue financing, siphoning all the money out of the United States, sucking it dry, claiming it has nothing for the children of Israel, our people who are suffering here right now. Huh? But I believe they have an answer for everybody. Right? And I believe, I'm going to go into it in a moment. Fair use. Fair use, and then I'll open up the lines. I'm not going to be here all night tonight because I have a lot of announcements to make and all that. But hold tight. I need y'all to see this. Fair use. Fair use for educational purposes only. Right? Fair use. So it seems as if they're pulling the plug on the United States and funding the other areas, right, on the outside of the United States that'll be safe for those who are seeking refuge from the chaos they know will ensue when our people in America realize that we were double-crossed. When our people realize that we actually bit the bait. Let me show you something. Yep. I'm going to play this for a little bit and have y'all hear this. I'll bring you in, Elder Lawyer, real quick. Fair use. Fair use for educational purposes only. Fair use. All right. There you are, lawyer. I'm going to play a little bit of this, and I need y'all to check this out.
Why are military-age men pouring across the United States border being given refuge, given cell phones, given ID cards, given money, being taken care of? Why is this happening in the United States?
Why are they flooding the United States with foreigners? Military-aged men. No one is telling us this, right? Fair use. Check this out, other lawyer.
Why are military-age men pouring across the United States border being given refuge, given cell phones, given ID cards, given money, being taken care of? Why is this happening in the United States? And the Biden administration pretends that it's not happening, but we have the footage. Take a look at your screen. Of course, these are multiple reports now of military-aged men pouring across the United States border. And it seems like mostly from China. So it's been a great mystery over the past year. Why are they doing this? Why are they arriving? If you're fleeing a war zone, you of course show up with your children, your women, your wives, right? These are people that you are saving, the families that you are bringing and trying to find a better life for. But no, there's no children, there's no wives, there's no women, it's just men. Well, at least until yesterday, we could speculate. We had some idea why this was happening, but on the floor of the United States Senate, Senator Dick Durbin has now let the cat out of the bag and explains exactly why this is happening.
What troubles me about the debate now about the southern border is it is one half of the immigration equation. Yes, we need order at the border. Yes, we need to have changes in the laws that reflect the reality of the overwhelming numbers from all over the world who are coming to our shores and our border. But there's also an incredible demand for legal immigration into this country even now. The presiding officer, my colleague from the state of Illinois, has legislation which addresses one aspect of that. Her bill, and I hope I describe it accurately, says that if you're an undocumented person in this country and you can pass the physical and the required test, background test, the like, you can serve in our military, and if you do it honorably, we will make you citizens of the United States. Do we need that? Do you know what the recruiting numbers are at the Army and the Navy and the Air Force? They can't reach their quotas each month. They can't find enough people to join our military forces. And there are those who are undocumented who want the chance to serve and risk their lives for this country. Should we give them the chance? I think we should. And let me tell you about other...
So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. It seems like we have an answer to the great mystery now, why this is happening. Someone who's been tracking these military-aged men coming across the border is Anthony Rubin from muckraker.com. He's been doing amazing reporting on this, deep into the jungles. He's been tracking this through South America, from Ecuador, tracking these migrants all the way up to the United States border, and so much more that we could talk about. Anthony, welcome back to the show. Good to see you.
Thank you so much for having me on, Clayton. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. It's great to have you back. Anthony, welcome back, Ecuador. Why are military-aged men being taken care of? Why is this happening in the United States? And the Biden administration pretends that it's not happening, but we have the footage. Take a look closely from China. So it's been a great mystery over the past year. Why are they doing this? Why are they arriving? If you're fleeing a war zone, you of course show up with your children, your women, your wives. There's no idea why this was happening, but this is happening. What States Senate who are bringing and trying to find a better life for. But no, there's no children, there's no wives, there's no women, it's just men. Well, at least until yesterday, we could speculate. We had some idea why this was happening, but on the floor of the United States Senate, Senator Dick Durbin has now let the cat out of the bag and explains exactly why this is happening.
What troubles me about the debate now about the southern border is it is one half of the immigration equation. Yes, we need order at the border. Yes, we need to have changes in the laws that reflect the reality of the overwhelming numbers from all over the world who are coming to our shores and our border. But there's also an incredible demand for legal immigration into this country even now. The presiding officer, my colleague from the state of Illinois, has legislation which addresses one aspect of that. her bill, and I hope I describe it accurately, says that if you're an undocumented person in this country and you can pass the physical and the required test, background test, the like, you can serve in our military, and if you do it honorably, we will make you citizens of the United States. Do we need that? Do you know what the recruiting numbers are at the Army and the Navy?
Look at this. Now, at the same time, they don't have no money for anything that our people are suffering through. Where's all these billions coming from? And don't forget, folks, these are your so-called representatives. What aren't they telling people?
Navy.
Look, Democrat, Illinois, majority whip. Democrat.
The Air Force.
Now, at the same time, during the time of the, they were threatening people in the military and all that if they didn't comply to the solution or whatever that might be. Remember that? To all of a sudden, claiming that there's a disparity in how many people are seeking to enroll. After they were threatening people, some people were discharged and all that, were actually kicked out of military force for not compliant to an order. Isn't that a convenient scenario?
They can't reach their quotas each month. They can't find enough people to join our military forces. And there are those who are undocumented who want the chance to serve and risk their lives for this country. Should we give them the chance?
Should we give these citizens who have alliances to other countries the chance to defend America?
I think we should.
I think we should, says Dick Durbin. I think we should.
And let me tell you about other.
So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. It seems like we have an answer to the great mystery now, why this is happening. Someone who's been tracking these military agents.
Let's go back. I'm going to go back and show you.
Of military-age men pouring across the United States border. And it seems like mostly from China. So it's been a great mystery over the past year. Why are they doing this? Why are they arriving? If you're fleeing a war zone.
Everyone is coming in for whatever reason, of asylum or seekers. Is this really, Elder Lawyer? Could this possibly be what we talked about years ago? A new form of 70 AD, putting military in place for convenient reasons under humanitarianism right now? You there, Elder Lawyer?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sounds familiar.
Absolutely.
Well, brothers and sisters, hey, it's on. The Bible tells you that man of sin will be revealed. And now that it's revealed, we have to understand what this means prophetically for those who believe now. They're financing the final cataclysm. But what they need in order to really bring forth the armies like they did in 70 AD, they need civil unrest and conflict amongst citizens first. Because understand how they're working this. They're working this from one crisis to the next. To actually do what? To give them the reason for the next phase in their plan. One crisis begat another crisis. One crisis begat another crisis. See? They bring in, first of all, what happens? Here it is. Everyone got sick and they claim, well, okay, there's no people joining the military. Oh, we need the numbers. Oh, it's a defense issue. It's a national security issue if we don't got enough military. Well, not enough people are enrolling in the military, and some people didn't make it through the So let's bring in some reinforcements to help America. Right? And then There's a humanitarian crisis in Venezuela and others. Let's just open up the borders and allow all these people to come in. Right on top of people who are already suffering. Only to incinerate these people who will have to respond for the sake of self-preservation. And when the conflict with all the different races jumbled, really boxed into a particular area, when the cartels and others start fighting and duking it out for the neighborhood where the black people are, we can now say, listen, crime has risen exponentially. Let's come in with the National Guard and the new military to quell the new crisis. Race wars within the inner cities. See? The Hegelian dialectic. Problem. You got to have the problem. Reaction, solution. So I'll tell you, it's time for our people to get right with the Most High and stay locked into the Word. And whatever happens within your inner cities, do not participate or get drawn into it. Okay? If there's a riot, if something happens where people are saying we got to come together and do something against these people, sit back. Do not engage. If you engage in the next crisis, that might be your only. That may be your last engagement. Because the people they're putting in place in the inner cities and where these people come from, they deal with threats differently than our people are used to understanding. And with the laws being put in place, Biden put in the hate crime law for Asians and other people. Well, folks, usually that gives you what? The green light, even if it means through fatality, to protect yourself from a hate crime. Usually when you give somebody the protection of a hate crime and you give them the law to stand behind, they know they have the right to actually execute or cause an offense and still be protected. So a hate crime usually gives that same people the position to be able to attack without recourse. So they put that in place already. The hate crime. Why would they put a hate crime law against Asians in place? At the same time, they're running our neighborhoods with agents. If it isn't because they know that we're going to start reacting to the extermination and the political genocide in the community. And every time we respond back, it's a hate crime. Here we go. 515-605-9327. I wanted to put that out there. Satan's seat. The political connection throughout history for that place you're hearing much about right now, the Ukraine. The Ukrainian connection, right? Elder Lloyd, you have anything to say before I open up the lines?
No, sir. No, sir. Let's go straight to the calls.
All right. And yes, we are opening up a new enrollment for the Hebrew and Bible Academy. You must be there. Your support is imperative, okay? Anyone can tell you. A matter of fact, if you're in the academy right now, if you want to give a testimony to what's going on in there, because most people might think it's what it used to be. Folks, even last Sunday, we proved that King James, not only was he a black man, all right, that he comes from the direct lineages of Joseph and Mary. From the British Chronicles, from Great Britain. I have them myself. So they put Germans on the seat in the 1600s after they got rid of what? Charles's children. I mean, King James' children, his lineage. And they put Germans, Wesson family, they put them on the throne instead of black people. And what they're saying is they're claiming to be direct descendants from the royal blood of Judah. That's right. That's your British monarchy. They're claiming before the world that it's their bloodline that's from the lost tribes of Judah, when it isn't. I got proof. King James was a black man. That and more. We're going to do a lot in this academy. The next academy, what we're going to be talking about is what? How to master the precepts. Even in the lessons, not only will we go to the precepts, we're going to show you why and how to use them as we break down any lesson. Okay? Precept mastering will be the theme for the next academy. How to go through that book like the back of your hand. You don't want to miss that. Be a part of it. Go to historytimes.org. I am Nika says, I'm an academite forever. It's a new word I've come up with, the academites. All right, let me open up the lines. I'm not going to be here all day. Please go to History Times. I'm not going to be here all night. Go to historytimes.org and enroll. We have a lot of new lessons we're going to be diving into also. I would like you all to be a part of this while there's still time to execute free speech within America. Right? Right? Who knew that Ukraine and Turkey was where Satan's seat was during the time of Christ and the disciples? Who would have guessed? Yeah. Hey, let me tell you, they're not even hiding it anymore, brothers and sisters. They're not even hiding it. Right? They're not even hiding. Right? Let me show you real quick, if you will. They're not even hiding this anymore. Right? Smithsonian. Entrance. Gate to Greek temple of Zeus unearthed in Turkey. See, this is where they do the evil sacrifices and connect them with the dark world also. Archaeologists excavating the ancient city of Magnesia hope to fully restore the 2,300-year-old sacred structure. Why would you want to restore a structure that Christ identifies as the seat of Satan? And who would be behind this if they aren't Satanists? Let me tell you, that Bible has keys that Christ dropped that the churches don't even speak upon. Why? Because they're told not even to go into the book of Revelation. Therefore, they don't even know the location Christ told us to watch out for. Ukraine. Turkey. And those who were operating under the serpent religion before, that's right, before the conversion of Khazaria. Huh? And then when you want to talk about the serpent people, who know the Vatican is attached to the serpent people? Yeah. Vatican. Serpent. And the audience hall. Audience hall. Yeah, the Vatican. Uh-huh. Let me pull it up for y'all here. Here is the audience hall. Let me show you. me show you the audience hall of the Vatican. Folks, they're not even trying to hide the fact that they worship Satan anymore. Look at this. Pope Francis financial reforms rattles Vatican guard. And they're doing this from the audience room of the Vatican. Now, what does that look like to you if it's not a snake? They're telling you they're the serpent people. Huh? They're not even trying to hide it anymore, but this is why they don't like Christ. Christ identified where they would be working from. Thank you, Danita. Thank you, Danita, for being in the academy 13 times. Oh my goodness, I have to look out. I have to send you a book or something for helping us out like that. And yeah, there will be a lot of giveaways in the academy also. Don't worry about it. All right. Let's open up the line. They're not even trying to hide the fact that they worship Satan, out in plain sight. And it's no wonder, a few years ago, they were seeking to, it's talking about, the Vatican was talking about, come get some venom. But I digress. All right, let's open up the line. Let's see who we have waiting. I'm only going to take calls for about 30 minutes, and then we're going to have an early night. I'm not going to be all night tonight. I thank you all for supporting the work. 515-605-9327. Chime in and give us your testimony. Give us the insight on your experience in the academy, if you will. Or you can give us some insight, but believe it or not, be guarded on how we talk about this. You got to cobble around the edges because we're not here to offend anyone. We believe anyone have the right in America to worship anything they want, including Satan. Okay? So we're not here to personally attack anyone. We're just, from a theological standpoint, a theological view, giving you the true insight on Israel, not according to your conversion, but according to your bloodline. That's the clear thing we want to discuss. And the fact that a lot of people who converted into this new religion was a part of a dark religion that's hid from the world. Okay? And that's just, Christ pointed out the darkness. All right? And we believe that what the doctrine we're teaching was the original Christianity before the Roman Catholic Church came in to destroy it. Okay? We don't trust Jesuits. We don't trust their theology. We know that they are dealing with deceitful ideology. All right? Let's see here. Blog Talk call in. 515-605-9327. Call in.
Blog Talk Radio. Welcome to Blog Talk Radio. Please hold and you will be able to listen to the show.
Unmuted.
I'm Elder Ricard Shiar of the Gathered of Christ Church here live, and we're here to take calls. As I bring you in, give us your name and location. Officer REI.
Yeah, Shalom and good evening, Elder. How you doing this evening? I'm out in the Vegas area.
Bless you, sir. Good to hear from you.
Likewise. Enjoying the broadcast. And I just had 2 comments. I was tuning in and listening, and the video you just showed, the last one about the men that they're accepting in that are of military age and then offering them citizenship.
Yeah.
That is a fact. And as you know, I'm from South America, Guyana.
Mm-hmm.
And I came out here young, but that is how I actually got my citizenship. Upon graduation of high school, that's what they offered me when I enrolled to serve.
Interesting.
And so when I was deployed in Iraq, in 2005, my chief warrant officer put me up on the proceedings and whatnot, and that's basically how I got my citizenship. So I know that that is a fact, and the fact that they're outright doing that at that rate on the borders too, that does not surprise me, because I know for a fact they're not meeting quota. Know that also. So that is 100% accurate.
But what do you think that means for us? But go on. Finish your thought first. But go on.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no. The question that you're asking is valid, because I was going to actually ask you a question concerning the Guyana and Venezuela. If you've been monitoring or seeing that,
Absolutely.
because that's also something that's interesting.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But what say you on it? What say you?
On what they're doing on the border here or in Guyana?
Guyana and Venezuela. You asked me where. Yeah, I've been up on them opening up the borders for Venezuelans, whatever, under the guise of asylum seekers. And when the mayor of New York began to push back, Adams, all of a sudden some sexual improprieties are coming out of the woodworks to smear his character. So it seems as if they're hell bent, no pun intended. They're hell bent on this I would say this migration thing, as if it's a necessity for the continuation of America.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But go on.
Because so you had mentioned, what does that mean for us? The truth is out there at such a rate that the people are waking up, and they're not going to let the people in out. So they're going to let the ignorant in and seal them in with exactly what they're doing. And at the same token, on the outside, you have a place like Guyana, for instance, because I was back there when you had called me. I was back there 2015, 16.
Yes.
And I'd seen what was going on, because they were getting out the president at the time. They were in the process of getting him out so they can put the current president in that would give Exxon and the United States access to the resources, mainly and chiefly the oil, which is in the land area in the dispute. That's why Venezuela is now encroaching. And about 2 years ago, I had this conversation with Elder Amar a couple months back, but about 2 years ago, I got a video showing the new map under the guise of the new outbreak that they're trumming up for 2025.
Oh, okay, but
Guyana is no longer.
Okay, you talking about you talking about like there's some information you heard of in Guyana concerning, because I've been hearing some of these pundits out there saying that to look out for a new disease that might be coming in the future in 2025. I heard some of the people from the WHO and others get on broadcast and say something is big coming that will make the other virus pale in comparison. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, Elder, and I have the video proof. Now, I want to share this because it's very important.
Yeah.
I have a brother who's ex-military also. He studied maps, so did I. We did some work back in the day. And when he got a hold of the video, he sent it to me because he's like, this looks eerie. So when he sent it to me now, while I was in school in Guyana, they had a thing where they used to make us draw the map. And I have to give you this to make the point. We used to draw the map freestyle, the lines, everything.
Okay.
So when he sent me the video and I immediately looked at the geography, I realized that's no longer Guyana. And the landmass was actually renamed in Spanish. But the geography and all the surrounding maps, Venezuela, Suriname, it was so-called Latin America. That's the political correct term, Latin America. So in this new projected map for 2025, when the outbreak hits, Guyana is not even a part of the new map.
But this is hypothetical, right? Hypothetical that if what you're seeing is true, that the landscape is going to look a lot different. And based on them moving people around right now, and you understand that what you've seen years ago could be more than a possibility where they're just changing the people. right?
Absolutely,
And
Elder.
and where they changing the
And
people at in particular, right? I'm just trying to,
mhm,
be careful keeping this thing, within the
con,
parameters of the guidelines here. Um,
mhm,
the places that they're actually switching the people out, they're targeting where the people are actually black people or from the
yes,
lost tribes of Israel who are predominantly the Negroid, so to speak.
yes, yes,
Interesting.
sir.
So it's a
Very. And here's another interesting aspect. Guyana Defense Force is only 4,600 soldiers strong.
mm,
The Venezuelan military is over 100,000. And now, back in, I think, between 2015 to 2016, when they wanted to put a U.S. base in Guyana, and the president at the current time said no, they pulled back. Now, with what is going on, and if we remember, Maduro took over the presidency in Venezuela.
yeah.
Allegedly, he was backed by forces here. Now, Guyana has to ask the U.S. to come in and help with Venezuela being on the borders. They're surrounded right now, and Venezuela is not listening to nothing the ICJ, that's the International Court of Justice, is saying concerning Guyana and the borders.
Well, brother,
So,
brother, me and you have to
yeah.
talk. You and I are gonna have to talk. So I want to be able to.
Yes,
I have
please
your
give me a
number.
call.
I'm gonna give you a call. We have to talk, my brother. Some good stuff.
Done.
Thank you. Hey,
All
I
right.
tell you what, man, our people are on it. That's one thing I can say. Those that are in the loop and following this church, and this brother had been operating with the church since 2015 from Guyana and others. A matter of fact, I believe that's the brother who called in one day and he told me that he was learning under the Gathering of Christ Church in Guyana. I was still over Europe at this time. We went into the Middle East teaching there. We went into different parts of Europe, and then we was on a broadcast where I, through the Spirit of the Most High, helped convert Gaja, and a great work that was done there at Peace FM. And I spoke to the brother, and the brother said he was speaking to some Jewish people who were in Guyana, and he was giving out flyers. And these Jewish teachers looked like they were more so Hasidic Jews, was saying, "Oh, Rakash Yar," when they seen the Gathering of Christ Church over in Guyana. "Oh, you're with Rakash Yar." Now, I don't know these people. And the brother said, "Well, yeah, Gathering Christ Church." He says, "Ha, tell Rakash Yar to come to Israel. We're waiting for him." No. I'll come to Israel when my Messiah comes. And with him leading us, the whole earth better beware. Okay. Tell everybody, because they come to Israel. I'm good. I'm a servant of Christ. 330 area code. I believe that he gave me that testimony that they knew us. What we were doing over on Peace FM was resonating all over the world. And this was at a time we were told by even other Israelite groups that we shouldn't be anywhere, right? While we were traveling the whole world, setting up churches and everything. And now it's good. Other people are now seeking to set up churches and go to Africa and all these others, and it's all good. But don't forget, these were the same people that told us that it was wrong that we were doing it, okay? Gloria has a comment. 330 area code.
Shalom, Elder. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm blessed by the best. How are you?
I'm doing well. This is Sister Gianna from the Cleveland Body.
Talk to me. How are you? Talk to me.
Good. How are you? I had just wanted to come on because something that you had said earlier piqued my ears when I was like, oh, I haven't called in a few weeks. So I can't have people yelling at me about pretending to be sunshine in the chat.
Oh, yeah, you do sound like sunshine sometimes, but go on.
But I had just wanted to say, you had mentioned about people being still being ensnared by the mainstream Christian church.
Yeah.
Even though people are starting to wake up and they're not pretending that they don't know who we are anymore. And I had just been thinking about how I've been actually seeing more people going into the Christian church, like, I don't know if it's because they're looking for what we have in our church, but I've just been seeing a lot more people going back to their churches, or to looking for a church home. And that got me to thinking. I was like, well, people must know something is wrong, something is happening, because why is all of a sudden people, like, at least young people, I've seen a lot of young people on my social media like pouring back into churches, and that's more young people that I've seen going back to church probably in the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, I really believe, sister, that I mean, you have to realize our people are spiritually connected, and something is going on. And I believe even the youth and the brothers and sisters out there are searching for answers. And you know what? It's like this. They know. They may not be able to put their finger on it, but they know something is spiritually wrong that's going on, that's attacking them. But yet they cannot actually identify where it's coming from. And also, we're living in the calm before the storm. I believe most people out there who believe in the Most High know that something is about to happen. And usually what happens, our people go seeking for answers. Okay, and yeah. And I say, listen, that's a good thing. Not that I agree with everything these churches are talking about, but that's a step. And if it wasn't for that step, I don't know if I would be here teaching the word, understanding I'm an Israelite. All in all, if Christ is sending you into that church and they're giving you that Bible, that's your map. It's what you do with it and get navigated through it with that book that leads us to where we are now. So even though we have a problem with the false theology within the Christian church, we cannot deny the majority of us found Christ right there. When I say find Christ, it was deeper than the building itself. We went there searching for something, and at that time, what we needed was there. It was Christ guiding us from that point to this point. And I'm going to tell you, it says, the Christian church, I believe, after the so-called pandemic or during the pandemic, I believe that was the first steps in the destruction of the black church. It was over. The first step was that was the second step. The first step was the mega churches who took out the financially affluent and educated within our community and took them out as what? These would have been what? The role models for the generations within the community churches. So they took those out first. That was the first foot to drop on the black church. And the second one was when the virus hit. Not too many people who are churchgoers, sister, I'm going to tell you this right now, lived through that. Right? For whatever reason. And now, in order for these churches to actually thrive now, they're going to have to go with any government initiatives placed before them in order to keep the doors open. So a lot of these churches are going to be used for refuge for the asylum seekers and all these others we've been talking about. These churches will become bases, a quasi-military base utilized by clandestine governments within our communities. That's what they'll become. But for the people who are in the churches right now seeking some level of truth, I believe a lot of those brothers and sisters will be guided to where we are right now. They're taking their first step, and eventually when they find out we're Israel, it'll all make sense, and the Most High gathers the elect to the elect. You have the last word.
I hear you, Elder, because that was something that really intrigued me when I was seeing it.
Yeah.
And then now you shedding light on it, that made it a lot easier to understand. Because I was like, dang, like what is going on? Because it really makes you think about the times that we're in, that people who were not really into going to church like that have that spiritual, like that like that, like, I don't want to say sixth sense, but like that feeling that they need to go home, that they need to go back.
Yeah, I understand.
And then they eventually, and if it be the Most High's will, that eventually they find that home with us.
Oh yeah.
And really get that true understanding and are able to be baptized and be alongside us and endure to be saved at the end of all this.
Sister, listen. I think it would be seriously shocking if brothers and sisters understood the number of people who are coming into this truth, not just our people, all people, Gentiles and all that, on a regular basis through the works of this church. Okay, I'm gonna tell you, it's something different.
It's amazing to witness.
Oh yeah,
it's amazing to still be here to be able to see it all.
And I'm humbled to be a part of it. Thank you, sister. Hey, keep that spirit up. Keep that humble spirit up. That humility. It's going to take you a long way. Bless you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shalom.
All right. Shalom. Cora 357. Oh yeah. Gaja, Elder Gaja was in he was in Canada. I wonder if he's still in Canada. If you're still in Canada, Gaja, you can call in. My Skype is up. You can call in, Gaja. Cora, how are you? Okay, Shalom. Give me your question first, Cora. Then your comment. What is your question?
Okay, well, they're kind of both together.
Okay, go on.
The fact is that you mentioned that what they're planning is by bringing in the foreign military is planning for us to riot, and then they have the military to come on us. And then my thing is, should we not, thwart that plan and just ease up on out of here?
Cora, it seems, I don't know if you noticed, and it's okay, you can do it again with the next call. Do you notice that you ask the same question every week?
Yeah. Well, no, not every week, but I mean, I know you told us not to go into Africa, that right now is everything, but maybe some other foreign country. I was just thinking maybe we should
sister,
ease out of here and leave them to their devices.
Sister, what they're doing here in America was done in every other country, the majority of every other country first.
I see.
So the best advice I have for brothers and sisters is to link in with the body. When it's time.
Okay. Well, I'm already.
Oh yeah.
Listen,
and don't forget, sister, and I'm going to say it again. Christ even said, when you're persecuted in one city, flee into the next city. Now, we're not going into some place blindly. The majority of the places, the majority of the places our people were able to flee to before 70 AD, before they locked Jerusalem down, were the places the disciples established churches.
Okay.
Places that were already ground was broken, where you're not operating blindly trying to link into some people. And I'm telling you, sister, I keep telling you, because there's a lot of grifters out there, a lot of people who's using the flea con that's out there. Okay. Their whole ministry is so that you can help keep them afloat, with them scaring you concerning fleeing to a certain place. Okay, we've already established churches all over the place. And when you're persecuted, there's places where we've established churches. And when the persecution come there, they're going to have to leave where they are and go someplace else. So what I would suggest for you, just to be careful not to go before the shepherds. The Bible says, I will send you out as he-goats before the flock. You go out to these places and you link in with these people and they will rob you. You got people online and all they're talking about, Ahia, the name of Yeshua, Babylon, come to where I am, and I got the holy mountain, and you got these people sitting there for 5 minutes with a video on. They'll walk down the street trying to find out where they're gonna get some money from and find a guy with a goat, and they'll put the video on saying, "Look, we got goats." That's what's going on there.
Okay.
Just stay linked in with the elders and be directed. Get your house in order. That's all you have to worry about, getting your house in order. Okay. That's you got a lot of grip. I'm gonna tell you, and I said it before. There were some other people who didn't listen, and when there was this family, they started calling themselves God Family Nation, trying to get themselves some attention through our church, and linked in with a sister in Jersey who ended up going out there and hey, went into some place, and we told them don't go there. And now she came back in regret and is like, listen, sis, all due respect, we'll pray for you, but we don't know what you've attached yourself to, and you can follow us online, but we're not going to have our people suffering through something you may have attached yourself to. So, sister,
okay.
The whole deal is we were the first ones who said we have to go into different countries. So if we thought that it was time to leave right now permanently, you would know. Okay?
Oh, okay.
All right.
All right. Now, do you have any churches in any Spanish or French-speaking countries right now, like Mexico or Spain?
Yes, we do.
France?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Yes, we do.
Oh, okay.
So if you're looking
you.
if you're looking to live someplace else, whatever the case is, and you're already baptized into the church, you can let us know or let the bishop know that you're under, and that connection can be made. So at least if you go into another country, you'll be welcomed by a church member. Okay?
Okay, good.
There you go. All right, the
All
wild.
right.
All right, shalom. 816 area code.
Shalom, shalom, elder.
Shalom, your name and location.
Sister Tamar, Kansas City, Missouri.
How are you?
Blessed by the best, and the name is the highest.
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah. Talk to us, sister.
So, I guess, first of all, I just wanted to give you some credit and honor for fantastic academy. This would be my 30th consecutive academy.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you, sister.
Yes, sir. So, I joined the academy when I first came to the body. And
let me ask you, what stood out this academy? You've been in 30.
Oh my goodness!
What stood out?
My goodness, you brought the heat. You brought all new books, information, insights, never before seen, never before heard. I mean, the stuff you dropped this past week, I was like, whoa.
Oh, you're talking about the British monarchy, the fact that they know the true bloodline of Christ through Moses, through Joseph and Mary and all that, link it directly to the British throne.
Yeah, that was amazing.
All praises.
I mean, you connected you connected those dots and hit them over the head with that one.
All praises. Okay.
Yes, all praises.
Thank you. Thank you for your support. In 30, there's something we have to do for you. 30, we gotta work out something for you. I'm gonna find out something we can give you, sister, for your support. But go on. What say you? The floor is yours.
Yeah, it'll help because I just lost my job last week. So if you can help sponsor at least half of my academy, I'm just gonna have to trust my time for the other half.
Okay, hold on. You did 30 academies. I got to work something out with you here. 1 second. Let me write your number down.
Oh, thank you for the consideration. Thank you so much.
What type of job? How did you lose your job? What happened? If you don't mind me asking.
They call it workforce reduction. they went through. I worked in telecom, and so they went through 3 rounds of layoffs, and so I got caught in the third one.
Okay, but of course they're going to give you a little unemployment or something temporarily, right?
Well, the enemy is busy, but I know the Most High is busier. They reported my wages to the wrong state, and I'm telling you, I'm literally fighting with principalities
Oh.
to get that switched.
Okay, let me get your name again, sister. Let me get your name again.
Sister Tamar, Kansas City, Missouri.
Kmar.
Yeah, that's just my Hebrew name.
Okay, that's fine.
Sister Tammy. Yeah.
All right. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make sure I get your number to the administration to make sure you don't miss this academy, okay? I'm going to look out for you.
All
right.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
So I wanted to just bring to your awareness while we were in the academy, I get different YouTube announcements, and I noticed I just saw an announcement on the channel that I watch called Redacted. They do kind of news and current events.
Yeah.
He's an Edomite, but he does real good, commentary. Anyway, he said that the House just passed a law where I guess they're considering where if you are anti-Zionist, that is considered anti-Semitism now. So
See,
I
but-
find it
yeah.
how.
Well, I'm listening.
No, I was just saying it's funny how every race and ethnicity has protections under this so-called law. When are they going to have an anti-Israelite or anti-African American bill?
Yeah, we're still waiting for the anti-black hate crime bill, where you cannot not only can you not say anything offensive against us, but you cannot promote through your media anything negative when it comes to how you portray us. Okay, so I mean, what is this? Everyone else gets an opportunity to be protected outside of the people who've suffered the most, right?
That seems like how they're trying to set it up.
Yeah.
They're not trying; they're doing it.
They doing it. See, but I still say, you know what I mean? Instead of me, I don't have to talk about anybody direct. Even when I speak of it in passing, I make sure that I use a disclaimer, or I say straight out that they have the right to believe anything they want to believe. And neither will I disagree with them having the right to do so. But this is what God says when it comes to who we are and what belongs to our people. And I think the more they do things like this, right? The more they do things, ignore us while destroying us. I'm speaking of the political structure in of itself. The more it forces our people to get on code with one another. So in that, it's a good thing. Because, hey, everyone else is for their people. And it's time for us to say, well, okay, I'm just following suit now. So the more they continue to show their horns and do all this other stuff, the more it's really, believe it or not, bringing credibility to everything we've been talking about according to the Bible concerning who we are and who these others may be. Okay?
Kind.
Yeah.
And so while they're doing all of these little backdoor political maneuvering, you notice how they got surviving P. Diddy and surviving Jamie Foxx. Those are the latest. So they're making Israelite men the face of,
Yeah. And see, why do you think they're doing that? The reason why the powers that be are behind opening these so-called scenarios up to attack these people with much wealth, you have to understand eventually where that wealth will go to. Right? So
they are.
Yeah. So if they can get some woman out of anywhere that was a groupie someplace who's broke and having an issue and all that, think about it. That person who's getting that money, that lawyer, no matter what's that lawyer's persuasion or religion, may get 30 or 40% of that cut. And all that money that those men work for will go right to the people who are aimed towards destroying our people. That's the game. That's the game.
And while our people,
right? I have to get to the next call, though, sister. I gotta get to the next call. All right. But thank you. I am going to reach out to you to make sure that you'll be able to be a part of the academy. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, and Zawada.
Thank you, sister. Thank you.
Baraka.
All right. Ayenda Bar.
Baraka.
Yeah. So you have to realize what the game is. Well, let's open up a statute of limitation. Let's just make let's make a I'm an Edomite and I say so law to where we can just open up. Let's go back to 1983. Okay. When they had big boom boxes outside in the schoolyard, and see if we can dig up some woman somewhere who's kicking 50 to 60 to say that someone violated them. Okay. And the lawyer put it all together and say, well, okay, don't worry about it. We'll get you what? We'll get you a few million, but don't forget our cut. It's deep how we sit here and allow them to make our men that has upward financial mobility the face of grape in SA, sexually assaulting. That's deep. I'm going to tell you. And I'm going to tell you, and listen, I'm looking at it to see how, let me tell you, last year, I was driving in the car with Shapat, Elder Shapat, and I seen all these P. Diddy hit pieces that were just coming out. Could he be connected to, this guy is saying this, and this girl is saying this, and could he be connected to the death of Tupac? And I looked right at Shapat, and I said, you know what? They coming after him. Everything was a question mark in all this. Just putting out speculation and innuendos. Remember that lawyer?
Yep.
And I said, you know what? They coming after him. But they got to sear that in the consciousness of the people first. Right? And it's not that I agree or disagree with whatever he was doing in the business, but I need you to see the clear difference between our people and their people. I look at what Jaguar Wright is saying right now. She from Philadelphia. Okay, I know some producers who work with her. And it doesn't matter whether or not she's correct or incorrect. Check out how they allowed her to just go out and just blabber all over the place concerning her scenarios with P. Diddy and others. Okay? I'm not going to say she's right or wrong. I need someone to give me a Chinese example of a Chinese woman doing that to their people. Or a Jewish woman doing that to their people publicly, regularly. Okay? Because what do you think P. Diddy learned all this from? You think he weren't amongst other ethnicities who does this on a regular? But where's their woman coming out, co-signing the negative that happens amongst their people? But you know why? You know why they allow it? Because they know demonization comes before destruction. And they need one of our people to co-sign. And this is what they do. Like puppets in the back of our people, through proxy, destroy us through our own people. Okay? So listen, I know what goes on in the business and all that. So I'm not saying everything that they're saying isn't true. But man, you can go behind closed doors amongst any of these ethnicity that's dealing with in the business who are doing what he did and worse right now.
And I think that's the disingenuous part. The disingenuous part is to make it seem like all of this began with and ends with P. Diddy. Exactly. As if he's the architect.
Oh, you think the record companies didn't know that if what they said is true and what Cassie reported? You think they didn't know about what happens when artists come for their royalties and a so-called producer You think they didn't know a producer is threatening and blowing up stuff and hanging people over balconies? You think the record companies know nothing at all about any of this?
Mm-hmm. Right.
When all of these people with that status, you cannot operate with all that money and status without handlers who are around at all times. Okay. And if they can do all these things, without any recourse, they'll begin to believe they're above the law because they're handlers. Anything they do, their handlers is cleaning it up or spinning it for the sake of their own financial gain. So you start to believe you are above the law, but that's the business. So my issue with all of this is it's not apples and apples. It's apples and oranges. What applies for us doesn't apply for anyone else. And at any time they want to take one of our people down, whether it's right or wrong, they'll always find someone amongst our people to help. And that's the disheartening part of this. Because why? Regardless of what P. Diddy did, everything he worked for belongs to his children. See? And what they're not going to tell you in all of this is how much money they're going to do to destroy his name and legacy so P. Diddy's children have nothing. How is it a lawyer who came out of nowhere, who had nothing to do with the blood, sweat, and tears that happened when Puff Daddy did whatever he did to make that record company, come out of nowhere at the end of P. Diddy's career in life and take 30 to 40% of his money and had nothing to do with P. Diddy? To only have his children be raised off of what that black man earned. I need y'all to think about that for a second. That's the disheartening part. That they cannot do this unless there's somebody amongst our people who are willing, for their selfish reason, to start talking just to get a little shine or recognition you didn't get during your career. And that's the disheartening. And the other nations don't allow that. Okay? That's an unspoken rule. You can't do that amongst their people like that. Okay? Without being what? Without being X'd out altogether. You can't do that amongst, they don't allow that. So I'm not even talking about, everybody talking about P. Diddy and Cassie. I'm like, boy, these people are sheep. These are the same people who just parrot and believe anything the news is feeding them. The same way when they were dealing with the R. Kelly thing. Everybody started just parroting everything they was hearing in the media. I'm like, you think this is about R. Kelly? You think this is about Puff Daddy? This is about those. Remember when they announced him being a billionaire, using him as leverage against Kanye West and Kyrie Irving? Remember?
Right.
Out of nowhere, they said, one day they said, what? Kanye isn't a billionaire today. And the next day, P. Diddy is a billionaire.
Right.
Trying to leverage them off against each other. And I said, listen, if y'all don't understand that it's not about any of these men, it's about how are we going to get to this bag that these people have earned with their own, with blood, sweat, and tears. How can we take this bag away from them before their children get it? Y'all don't understand what it is. How can we take this bag before it gets to their children? Because these men have acquired generational wealth that now, with the truth of the matter, it can no longer be hid with Israelites. Even the stars out there are saying we're Israelites now. Even those who are on their side, their puppets know we're Israelites now. Now imagine that money going to those puppets' children when the truth can no longer be hid that we're Israel. See? They're not going to chance that. They're not seeking the chance. Generational wealth going to a people who predominantly believe now that they're the children of Israel. They're not going for that. They don't care about P. Diddy. They don't care about R. Kelly. They care about where their money's going. and how it can be utilized to help a people that have always been targeted, the children of Israel. Y'all better wake up, man. 317 area code.
How you doing, Conrad?
How you doing, sir? Who this?
Y'all Tip.
Yahoo Tip wants to sing a song.
Oh yes, sir. I had, but not only that though. I wanted to give a shout out to Elder Ramon. You know what I'm saying? Because he was very helpful, and you know what I'm saying.
Okay.
I just want to give him a shout out because you know what I'm saying. He was helpful. You know what I'm saying? He heard because I pretty much told him what I was gonna tell you.
What's that?
And then I said, well, you were so helpful. I said, well, can I bless the mic?
Okay, you can bless the mic, but I tell you what, you got to just give me.
I tried to tell him.
Okay,
I was telling him. I hear you.
Stick
I was
with me.
trying to tell him to
stick with me.
He was screening me.
Listen.
He was screening my call, and I was trying to tell him to let me rap it for you so you could screen it, so you could know what I'm gonna say before I get on there. So. I'm telling you.
Okay.
I ain't coming crazy.
Okay. I hope not. But this is what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
The Most High, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna let you bless the mic, right? But
yes, sir.
You got 1 minute. Shoot.
Maybe me and you can do a collab.
Okay, go ahead.
You know what? We'll talk about that later. You know what I'm saying? I have to charge it. Here you go. I'm just playing. Here you go. Thought I'd let you know that they won't let you go. Pursue the truth in me, and I can set you free. Thought I'd let you know they don't possess your soul, your freedom, what you seek, and I possess the key. Thought I'd let you know that they won't let you go. Pursue the truth in me, and I can set you free. Thought I'd let you know they don't possess your soul or your freedom, what you seek, and I possess the key. Hallelujah, hallelujah, way I pray. Through the name of Yeshua Salah, I call his name out when I pray to Yah. Life is a battle inflicting with scars, but it's an honor, a down for the cause. If you don't know Yah, then you must be lost. Time to wake up and then pass the term. In the last days, the battle is grave, no longer asleep. He called me by name. They want to be thuggish to modern day slave. I look to my people for someone to blame, but only show love, but understand pain. I was the same, mentally chained, straight to the demons inflicted me pain, but that was my fate till I heard him say, thought I'd let you know. They don't let you go. Pursue the truth in me. And I said,
okay, my brother. Okay, I got the hook.
You don't possess your soul,
brother. You got something.
Yes,
you got something nice there.
Yes, sir. You say what?
You got something nice there. And believe it or not, you put that out there. There's going to be many people that's going to be throwing. They're going to put some tracks behind that. You're going to hear that out there. But congratulations, brother.
That's all I want. That's all I want.
That's a great song, man.
The message.
The message. But his name is Yeshaya.
I don't need no faith.
Hold up. His name is Yeshaya. His name is Yeshaya.
Yes,
okay?
Sir.
Just fix that and we in there.
Yeshaya.
My blessing. Bless you.
Yes, sir.
Boy, the children of Israel have time. They have talent, don't they? Yeah, nothing but love. Next call. That brother got talent. I mean, because he was, I don't know he's using an ink pen or what. He was bringing that groove to it. I'm going to tell you. I see brothers, boy, what brothers can do with a bucket. It's just impossible. Yeah, we don't need drums. All right. 510 area code. Kendall has a question.
Hi, Elder.
How are you, Kendall?
Good evening. I'm well. It's so good to speak with you. I actually have two things I wanted to ask you. The first thing is I was baptized over a year ago, but it wasn't in the same body as you all.
Okay.
And my mother, she was baptized with you all, and she's telling me like, you got to get right because you have to be baptized under the right thing. And so I want to make sure that I'm baptized correctly because I want to be covered under Yeshua, not under the false doctrine that I had grew up under.
Okay.
And even though I have an understanding of what you guys are speaking about, and I'm following you now, I want to make sure that I'm baptized and that it's going to be honorable so that I'm not pushed away or turned away.
Well, sister, I'm sure when you was baptized in the name of Christ, you had the full intent or the understanding of your forgiveness of sins. What you're saying is, were you under another group that were following Yeshua or something?
Well, I got baptized under the name of Jesus Christ. It wasn't under the name of the Son and the Father and the Holy Ghost or anything like that. It was just I was baptized under Jesus Christ.
Oh, in a Christian church. You want to get that?
Yes.
And you want to get baptized in the ancient holy name of Christ, Yeshua. Okay, we can help you with that. Where are you?
Yes, Elder.
Where are you?
Okay. Well, I live in Georgia right now.
Okay, that's no
But
problem.
I'm from California, so I can fly to California if I have to.
Oh, no. What part of Georgia?
I'm near Atlanta, like 20 minutes outside of Atlanta.
Okay, well, we have a church there. Let me do this. We have a church there. So we have Bishop Baruch.
Okay.
Hold on real quick. Let's see. There he is, Georgia. And let me have your name again. Kendall.
Kendall. Yes.
Okay, Kendall needs baptism. Kendall needs baptism. I want to let you know.
It was pretty catchy.
Oh yeah, he got me. I'm gonna be at night waking up. I want to let you know.
And while you're checking that, I have another quick question for you.
Yeah,
Just
go
2
on.
seconds. I live in Atlanta, and there is so much, like, to me, this is a modern Sodom and Gomorrah because I've been studying, like, the days of Noah and what was going on there. And I'm a single mother of 2, and I just don't feel like this is the place. My spirit doesn't mesh well here with a lot of the doctrine and all of the things that they're pushing in this state.
Okay. Well, here it
Can I
is.
flee from here?
I'm saying, but see, let's take one step at a time, right? I believe that when you get with the church, the direction on what you would need for your family would become absolutely clear, right?
Okay.
So, listen, yes, Sodom, they didn't give Sodom and Gomorrah, they didn't give the Sodomites the proverbial will. They're running this thing all the way into hell. So there's nowhere you're going to go to escape the spirit of Sodom that's operating over the earth. Okay, they've come from behind the shadows. But all in all, you get your soul together and spirit together amongst the body there, and the clear path for your particular calling in the ministry. See, that's where it starts. And then you'll realize this is what the Most High need me to do. All right. So let's not put the car before the horse. None of us, we're all strangers in this wilderness who seek Zion. So don't operate anxious or operate strictly off of fear or anxiety.
Okay.
Only operate within the parameters you can control and have peace there.
Okay.
Okay. That's the point.
I received that.
All right. So,
okay.
Nah. It tell you in the book, it tell you in the prophets that it can be as if you flee from a bear, or a lion and run into a bear. Right? You try to escape one danger and realize that, guess what? That danger wasn't as bad as what I chose in fear. So when you don't know how to,
I receive that.
When you don't know what to do, it's best to do nothing. Do what you can control.
Stay still. Okay.
Pray, stay still.
Okay.
Read your Bible and get your house in order. Your children, make sure they follow the commandments of God. Okay? Link in with the church, get baptized, and I'm sure the direction the Holy Spirit will resonate in your temple and let you understand what the next phase in this work is for your life. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you and welcome.
You
welcome.
be blessed and stay highly favored.
Thank you. Welcome to the truth,
Okay,
sister.
bye.
Bless you. All right.
Thank you. Bye.
Bless you. I muted myself. What's up with that?
Unmuted.
All right.
Hello?
Who we have here? Judah John. Hi, Judah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Judah John from New Jersey. Shalom, my elder.
Shalom, my brother. How
Bless
are
and
you?
love. I am blessed by the best. Amen.
Great.
Just a quick comment, just for I'm from Jersey. You're supposed to be coming down to Jersey to see our new facility.
Absolutely.
We got a new facility. Praise the Most High.
I'll be coming soon. I will be.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just a quick comment. On the subject of the international things that are going on. The of course, this Palestine, Israel thing, whatever. But my thing is, we don't have no dog in that fight. Let us focus on the Most High, get ourselves right, because things are coming down pipe now. They're coming down the pipe.
I agree.
And prophecies being fulfilled. I mean, it's right in our face. And so my thing is just like, you know what? Get your household right, get yourself right, and the Most High will put the hedge around you once you're right.
Absolutely.
And so we don't really have to worry. Yeah, we don't really have to worry about too much what Amalek is doing, or Ammon and the Palestinians. We don't have to worry about that, because the Most High.
Okay. Now, when you say don't have to worry about that, what do you mean in particular when you say we don't have to worry about that?
I mean, yes, we should be informed.
Yeah.
Of what's going on.
Yeah.
But as far as our faith goes, we shouldn't be worried.
Exactly. I can agree with that. See, and the reason why I ask you the question, the reason I ask you the question is because the Bible tells us that before Christ returns, that man of sin must be revealed. And for years, we were taught by the enemy that man of sin is some boogeyman called the Antichrist that will never come into existence. So the reason why we have to identify that man from a geopolitical standpoint, according to Christ, is so that we'll understand to trust in the Almighty and not trust into the theology of the deceivers who put in a doctrine that they could actually operate in plain sight without being identified as the enemies of Christ. So it's important for true believers. It's important for true believers to understand there is no Antichrist. There's many Antichrists. That the Antichrist will be operating from a political governmental structure. And that Antichrist was operating since the time of Christ and Paul. Even Paul himself said the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. So while they got everyone looking for a boogeyman, hold up, is Trump the Antichrist? Is Bush the Antichrist? I've been hearing this since I was in cloth diapers, with them putting out another person who could be an Antichrist. So the whole point is not to be afraid and fearful, but more so to be knowledgeable concerning who the Bible is pointing to as the Antichrist people. Some people have gotten confused and say that it's all white people. That's wrong too. See, here's my issue with the white thing, right? My issue, and this is why the man of sin have to be revealed, because they can hide themselves amongst other ethnicities, including those who look like them too. Right? And then they can become someone different. They can work with the dominant society to oppress and become something different when it's convenient for them, politically and otherwise. So this is why the Bible had to reveal them, and that's why Christ pointed out Pergamon, the gate, the city where Satan was sitting, where they would launch their political agendas for the end of the world, right? So that's all that is. All right? Hey, brother, do me a favor. Get a battery, 9-volt, and change. I think I asked you that before. Change that smoke detector. Lord have mercy. I mean,
you ain't the only one that has said that. I put I put a brand new battery in there and it's still going off.
Brother,
I'm like, goodness, what's wrong with this thing?
I don't know. To you, it's probably, you probably don't even hear it at this point. Man, I would have been myself.
Yeah, I really don't hear it, but everybody, when I'm online, they hear it. And so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get a brand new battery.
I'll tell you what, don't just get a battery. Get another smoke detector. Listen, I will buy it. I'll pay you for it, okay? Get a smoke detector and a battery. Listen, brother, the next time you call me with that twisted smoke detector going off, it's almost a part of, it's like music to your ears at this point. You know what I mean?
I don't really hear it anymore. I go to sleep, whatever. But yeah,
it's torture.
We have a prayer group that they're like, hey, Brother John, you got to deal with that. All right.
It's torture, my brother.
Like, all right,
bless you. All right.
So this is a confirmation. So I will deal with that. But
thank you.
Praise the Most High for your elders. I really appreciate y'all. If you see me, you would know me.
Okay.
I'm Judah John from Jersey.
All right.
But I really appreciate the elders. Keep your hands to the plow because that's how I came in.
Thank you,
know what I'm
brother.
saying? I ran on your videos. I ran on y'all like that. Boom. And if you were not doing the work, I would have never came in.
All praises.
So I really appreciate y'all like that. I really do.
Thank you, my brother.
Keep it moving. Keep it moving.
Thank you, my brother.
I love y'all.
Thank you.
And most high willing, I will see y'all this Passover.
You'll see me before that. I'm coming to Jersey before that. But change. Get rid of that thing.
Okay.
Bless you. My brother. Same mother.
All right, my
All right. Listen.
Shalom.
Lord have mercy. All right. We're almost done. I'm going to go down the line. Ben has a comment.
How you doing, Elder?
I am blessed by the Almighty, and his name is Ahia. I'm blessed by the best. Talk to me.
Yes, sir. Great lesson tonight.
All praises.
I love the connections that you made with pretty much the Ukrainians and the Ish people that's over there in Israel, pretty much being the same people.
Absolutely. And in a nutshell.
I had the question that I had is like, what ties do you think that this has with those Ukrainians being Nazis at the same time? Because a lot of them are descendants of Nazis, and they still pretty much practicing a lot of that Nazi hood stuff that's over there.
Okay,
and they are like a lot of the.
Hey, brother, I'm going to drop something on you, right? There's the ideology of the Nazis that the media would have us buy into and understand, right? And that's the version of what the media would like us to understand when it comes to Nazism, right? But it has a more esoteric root, okay? When it comes to a mystery secret religion under Satan. And what we have to stop doing is trying to claim or think that Nazism is a scenario of a group that just hates certain people and all these others. No, it's a religious. Don't forget the swastika and all that. You can find that in ancient Babylon. You can find that in different parts of India under secret religions, it's really worshiping Satan in plain sight with their symbolism. See, for those who understand what Nazism isn't going to look at National Geographic, not National Geographic, but Time and Life history on Nazis in Germany. People act as if the religion of Nazism came with Hitler, when really it was an introduction to the satanic religion that are followed by the occultists, and bringing it out into plain sight so the whole world can understand, right? So the whole world can actually embrace the secret religion being worshipped politically in plain sight, in a nutshell. Nazism isn't what they're claiming it is. It's really part of a secret religion that those on either side of it agree and worship together behind closed doors. It's a satanic ideology.
Yeah,
Okay.
I understand that too. And that's really, I mean, with the connection that you were making with them being the same people, and them embracing this so much, and another thing I wanted to ask you about is, I know you've probably been seeing it on social media and all that about all these, these ish celebrities that's so angry about us not so-called supporting them enough or to their liking.
Okay, in a nutshell, you're talking about, and I had something to say on that the other week about Michael Rappaport, this actor, all right, is coming out saying that they're not going to forget that black people isn't supporting the war between them and Palestine and all that, as if he has some beef, some axe to grind with our people who are suffering over here. I can just use that for an example. Like, it doesn't matter, even when we do nothing at all and aren't bothering anyone, it's an issue. And I need people to understand this. He's angry because we don't take a side with his side in a war that has nothing to do with our people. And that lets you know.
And it's almost.
This is what I wanted to point out on that. Just him in particular. Okay? Just him in particular. Why continually draw us in to something we have nothing to do with and make it seem like we hate your people for not doing anything? That doesn't even make sense. So the whole deal is this. If you feel a need and feel so passionate about what's going on over there, don't try to take it out on us. Get suited up and go join the army over there and fight the war for your people. What that has to do with us? If you're so passionate about that, what are you arguing with us, arguing with our people over here about? If you're passionate, I'm sure you can go to Israel, throw on some fatigues, and go fight if you're that passionate for the cause of your people. See, but what it is you have to understand it's the moral ground that comes with us being the children of Israel. Usually, you have to have a moral footing before an offense against another place. And right now, they don't have the moral backing in the earth. Him in particular. And they need us to have our cause attached to what he's concerned about.
That's what I was getting to. It's like they feel like they need our approval to be morally correct, or to feel to feel good about it, or give us, like, we need to give them the A-OK to pretty much steal our land, and that's really.
Well, it comes down to quid pro quo, right? If anything, politically, they have taught us that, what you do for me, I'll do for you. Right? So you can support us right here to let us know. And that gives us what? That gives us the drive to support what you have someplace else and what's going on with you. So if you support me in the cause of what's going on with our people, which is what? Reparations across the board for our people who've suffered and built America, right? Because, of course, you can agree with that with all the money that Ukraine and Israel have gotten since 1948, even Holocaust survivors, or whatever the case is. So you can agree with financial restitution when your people have suffered politically under the oppression of another people. So since we can relate there, give us what you've received and you'll have an ally. It's simply that simple. You'll have an ally, at least on that level, to say, you know what? Y'all truly care about the cause of the lost tribe of Israel in America. And through that, we can discuss how now our people can be in a position now to support you. But our people are struggling and suffering. We're not in a position to think about supporting anyone while we're struggling. So if they really want to fix this, if anything, from 1948 on, they've given us the example of how to help a people who've been politically destroyed by the dominant society, or by someone who would look to genocide them and others based on their religious beliefs and who they are ethnically. So the examples are out there. So if you really want some support, give us what you received from others. Give us
support. Yeah,
give us the same support you received when people came after you, and then you'll have our people who are in a position now, not suffering, not trying to find out whether or not they can pay their bills. Now we're in a position to look at whether or not we should help other people. Right? That sounds fair.
Yeah.
Sound fair to me.
Well, I just wanted to say, great lesson though. Stay encouraged, brother. I've been with the church, or following the church. I'm not with the church, but I've been following the church for over 10 years, and I live in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So
yeah,
I wish it was a church here, but keep doing the work. I'm a Patreon member. I haven't been able to get into the academy. I'm a truck driver, so I'm kind of busy on them days, and I can't really follow on the computer.
But again, even if you are a truck driver or whatever the case is, you have access to the lessons 24 hours a day. So that day, just because you're not present in that class doesn't mean you're missing some serious information. You can still look at it, at your own convenience. Right?
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Well, yeah, I'll try to get into that sooner or later, as soon as my money get right. Right now, I'm a little struggling. This is my slow season, but I definitely will be getting in there soon. Well, thanks, brother.
Well, let me put down your number.
The work you guys do.
Okay, let me put down your number. All right. Ben, right?
Yep. I've called before, back on the Peace FM days, like maybe 7-8 years ago.
Oh my goodness. Oh, brother, I'm gonna write you down and see what we can do, because I don't believe anybody should be missing the academies and what we got coming up here, because the Most High, I'm gonna tell you, the Most High is opening up all types of understanding right now. I don't think anyone should be on the outside of what's being dropped right now, as far as, in a class setting, right? Okay, Ben, we're gonna reach out and see what we can do to help, right?
All right, thank you, Elder. Appreciate it.
My brother.
All right.
Yeah. So how are you gonna come off and go on Instagram mad at what our people aren't doing? I'm like, boy. The gall of some of these people. It is, we're suffering. You see our communities is in tatters, totally destroyed. And mad because we're not supporting something that have nothing to do with our people. G has a comment.
Shalom.
Shalom, how are you?
Shalom. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking, Elder Bakar. My name is G. I'm calling out of the DMV area, the DC, Maryland, Virginia area.
Yep.
And I had a question. And a comment. My first question was, my only question was, is there a Gathering of Christ Church here in the DMV area?
Yeah, it is.
Would you be able to? Is that something you can give me online or?
Well, what I can do is I can put down your number here. Hold on.
Okay. I want to shout out that brother too with that song, man. That song is still in my spirit too.
Oh yeah,
I
he
thought
brought
I'd
it.
let you know. Yes,
Yeah,
indeed.
it's gonna
I
be a
write
hit.
music, so I felt that.
Okay. Okay.
But so my comment was it's just like a whole lot of weird stuff going on, and sometimes I could feel like I'm the only one seeing it. You know what I'm saying? And then sometimes I don't want to say too much because you say something to the wrong person, and you don't know if you could trust them and all type of stuff like that. But I heard one of the sisters a couple days ago. I was listening, and one of the sisters was saying she hear this like bell or like this bong type thing, you know, and like every few days it's like I hear like a boo outside, you know, and I'm like, what is that, you know? And helicopters. I live close to Andrews Air Force Base, but I have never seen. It's like helicopters and planes is constantly patrolling. Like right now, I'm looking out my window right now, and helicopters. You know, I don't know what they looking for, what they expecting.
If I was you, I would probably make sure you take your phone and just make sure you just documenting some of this.
Yeah.
Document it. Therefore, if we need some insight of what's going on, we'll have some proof, especially if something is looking entirely different than what we're used to seeing, right? So make sure you document these and send some of that to us.
I will. I'm noticing like one of the, I can't remember which person was talking about it, but it seemed like a lot of, and nothing against Northern Kingdom, but it's like a super duper influx. I'm seeing a whole lot of people with these light green vests on everywhere. I'm like, I feel like I'm on a movie set or something.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is going on? You know?
Well, I got to get
scary to a certain extent.
All right, I'm gonna let you.
But at the same, go ahead.
No, I'm gonna let you round it off. But I do got to get a next call because I need dinner. But outside of that, let me say this: I gave Jermaine your phone number, and he's gonna call you. Okay. I gave him your number. He's gonna call you. All right.
That sounds good. Thank you. Thank you,
my brother.
All right, Shalom.
All right. I apologize. I haven't eaten anything all day today, and I'm definitely going to get a meal. It has to happen. Carol has a comment.
Hello, Elder. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you, Carol. Where you from?
Okay, I'm Carol. I'm with the Dallas body, and what an honor and a privilege to speak with you. And
privilege is all mine.
Certainly. So I just wanted to call, and number one, I wanted to just thank you for sharing that written testimony. It was very, very heartwarming and touching, and I'll definitely be praying for that brother, along with all of our brothers and sisters in this struggle.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing that. It was very, very edifying. Very edifying.
Hey, it's inspiring. It's inspiring, and and usually when we look at what we're dealing with on a regular basis, sometimes we take for granted the blessings that the Most High have given us, and in comparison what other people struggled through to get here, to get to the point of where we are now and look where he found the truth at under those circumstances. It was humbling, and on top of being humbling, it's time that we begin to appreciate and not, because sometimes we can become entitled, ungrateful. So we can always reflect back to scenarios like this brother's going through and saying, you know what, doesn't matter what I'm going through. It's not that bad. Okay. Look at what this brother is struggling through, and look how appreciative he is to be totally set free to actually live the rest of his life out, no matter where it is, for the Most High to deliver the gospel, even in prison. Inspiring.
Yep.
But go on, I'm sorry.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, that's where it is, and you know, I have a heart, you know, for our people, as like you know, and so many others. But for some of our people, it really bothers me that a lot of our people feel like they've achieved and they you know come up in society and they feel like, you know, they don't care about the plight of our people, and it really bothers me that, you know, they can, you know, live in this life with this little that this world has to offer and not see and realize, you know, the struggles that, you know, our people go through. And, you know, because for me, you know, it's like if any of our people, you know, are being oppressed, then we all are. You know, that's how I feel.
You're right.
So anyway, that was very, yes, I just really have a heart for the people. And the other thing, I'll be brief. I know you got to go, but my daughter sent me a clip. I believe it was from Instagram just yesterday, which so coincides with your subject for tonight, the immigration and the Ukrainians. And it was really, in a way, it was kind of funny, but then it really wasn't. It just showed you exactly, you know, what's going on, everything that you've been teaching, you know, and sharing about what the end of this is going to be with this immigration, is that, you know, our people in Chicago, I'm like, oh my goodness, on this clip, it's like, our people in Chicago, you know it's bad when they're crying out for Trump. I'm like, what? I mean, this was a real political scenario where, you know, they were, I wish I could send you that clip. I was trying to figure out a way that I could send it to you, because it was definitely.
Sister, I've seen it. It's like a complete 180.
You
That's how you know
saw
they're
it?
messing with us. At first it was Trump, anything but Trump. If we do Trump, it's the end of us.
Right.
And now 180.
Yeah, I was like, what? I'm like, I'm sure they all probably voted for Biden, but now they're like crying out for Trump. I'm like,
check it out.
Trump?
Check it out, sister.
Good Lord,
Check
that
this
is
out.
Crazy.
Not that I'm for either one. I'm for Christ. But one thing that you cannot argue with is numbers. There was more black businesses created during the time before COVID and up to COVID and through COVID for our people than at any time since the history of our people hitting the shores of America.
Wow.
So you know they said we gotta do something about this, because we were on our way up.
Yeah.
And silently what was going on is they didn't realize that we were actually moving as fast as far as upward mobility with finances, especially not just black women, but black men too. It's like, hold on, we need a reset. So when they put Biden in place, it seemed like everything that was put in place, every legislation was meant to knock us backward from any progression we made up until that point. It seems as if that's what was going on in hindsight. And now here we are.
Yeah. Yep.
But hey,
yep.
Let me tell you.
By the time Elder said it.
You're right. Sister, by the time Trump get in position, if he's put in position for the next election, it's going to be too late for the next administration to do anything to fix what has happened between the last 4 years. Impossible.
Yep.
And they're going to make sure that it's even going to be even worse now than before the election. Okay, so and don't be surprised. Don't be surprised don't be surprised if a new thing come up that would lead to mail-in ballots again. Watch. Here we go. Just saying. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, thanks for taking my call. That's all I had to say. Hopefully, I'll get a chance to meet you face to face one of these days.
Oh, absolutely. You're my sister. Bless you. All right.
Good night.
Good night. All right. Kiki. Yes, Kiki.
Hello, Elder.
How are you?
I have a comment and a question.
Go on.
I'm doing fine. My comment is, it's me and my husband's first time in the academy, and we love it. I mean, it's just like, give us more. And my husband, like, he works, so when he come in, he'd be like, do you know how good that feel? Like, he was like, last night he watched it over, he was like, I looked over and you were asleep. I said, because I watched it before you did. And I'm telling you, you got to watch that, because every time I watch something, I learn something so much more. And it humbles me more to know that even through the darkest times, there's light.
Yeah.
And I really do appreciate what you guys do, because there's nothing more like it out there. And I followed you a long time ago, but I kind of fell off. And I went to somebody else, and I woke up one morning and I said, no, I got to go back to GLCC. That's where I need to be. And so ever since then, I have not swayed, and I have my whole family, even down to my baby. He listens to it, and I know that this is where I need to be, and I really do thank you guys for it.
All praises to the Most High.
Yes, and then I wanted to ask, I had message about getting baptized and getting into the church, but I haven't heard anything back.
Okay, what city you're in?
Washington State.
Oh, okay, we can do that. Let's see. Hold on. I made a mistake here. Hold on. Quincy, I hit you by mistake. Washington State, that would be Elder Yarack. I know he's over here somewhere monitoring things. Elder Yarack. All right. Your name is Kiki. All right. Washington State. All right. I have your phone number here. You don't mind me giving him the number, right?
No, sir.
All right. Now, you said that you was following us initially, and you started following another group. Who was that?
So it wasn't like another group. So my mom's husband is a pastor.
Okay.
And when I started to follow you guys, I never swayed. Like, I would keep the Sabbath, but I wasn't into the Bible, and I wasn't listening.
Okay.
And then I had found a young man that was on YouTube.
Okay.
And I was listening to him, but then I went to sleep, and I was just like, I woke up the next morning, and I told my husband, I said, something don't seem right, because what he was teaching didn't make sense to me. Like, reading the Bible, and you don't have to be baptized. And I was like, well, that doesn't make sense to me. And I told my husband, I said, I'm not doing this. I'm going back to GLCC. And I was going to you, and I was still trying to, and I said, no, I won't do that. And I let my husband know we stay with GLCC, because when we vary off to other people, then we're confused and we don't know what's right. And when you do that, and I feel like when you do that and you have younger kids, you're doing it to yourself, but you're also bringing them. And my baby's 1. And one thing about it is, your song will come on and he'll sing it. and everybody in here be amazed. But I know that you're the right place to be. And I thank you guys for everything that you guys do. And keep doing it, because so many more people is going to be blessed to have you guys out there showing them the way.
All praises. Thank you, sister. And welcome to the body. I gave Yarack your number, and he will be reaching out, okay?
All right. Have a wonderful night.
Thank you.
Shalom.
Shalom. I mean, what's an antichrist? I'm like, who in their right mind would tell others not to do and suggest they shouldn't do what Christ did? before the Most High sent him on his ministry. Oh, no, you don't. Only the devil could speak to a person and say, oh, no, you're not supposed to do that. Oh, no, that's not a necessity. No, you don't need to do that. And see, and this is why when the Pharisees came to Christ and started trying to interrogate him based on who he was and what his ministry was about, Christ responded back with, I'll answer your question. I'll tell you who I am if you can answer this question. The baptism of John. That's in Mark, the 4th chapter, I think. The baptism of John, was that of man or was it from heaven? Because they didn't believe in the baptism. John was paving the way for Christ. And Christ confirmed that baptism, that it was right, by actually being baptized by John himself to show this is the only way into my kingdom. Okay? The new washings of the priest starts with this. And they sat there and looked and scratched their head like, hold up, if we say that it was from heaven, then he's going to respond back and say, well, why didn't you do it? Why didn't you follow John then? If you know it's from the same God you claim to serve. And if it's from man, they were afraid because John was recognized as a prophet, that the people would fall on them and not listen to them at all if they try to disrespect the reputation of John the servant. So they just went quiet and walked away. So that tells you in of itself the importance of the baptism. If Christ posed it as a question to those who denied it, is it from heaven or is it from man? That's the answer that question. And when you come to a conclusion, you'll know what to do. Okay? How can you be out there suggesting to people that they shouldn't do what our leader said do? Are they greater than Christ? That's what an antichrist looks like. You want to know what an antichrist is? Those that'll use the Bible to try to convince you to not do what he did. Joyce, 510 area code.
Hello, Elder.
Hello.
How you doing?
How are you?
I'm best. I'm blessed by the best in his name.
All praises.
I was asking a question. I was baptized September 9th in Antioch by Deacon Lucas.
Blessings. Welcome to the body.
Yeah, but I can't. I don't drive far, so because I was trying to find something closer, I'll get my grandkids to take me out there. But my family are following because I introduced them to it. My god sister Deidre.
Absolutely.
And my daughter
Blessings.
Kendall, she just called in. My grandson got baptized. My daughter got baptized. My daughter-in-law got baptized September 9th. And my daughter called in about the baptism. Kendall did. She did earlier.
Look at that.
So what I would like, yeah, it's nice. You guys are just phenomenal. And I know this is the truth. So I would like to pay for all my grandkids and stuff for the academy, because I've been in it since 2021 or something like that.
Oh my goodness.
And if it's okay, if I pay for them and we cast it to the TV and watch it as a group, is that okay or no?
Well, let's do this.
If I pay for all of us to have it.
Okay, well, let's do this. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let me write this down. One second.
Okay.
Okay, your name is Joyce.
Yes.
Hmm. Let me just take this. We'll call you tomorrow. What is the best time to call you, and we can discuss how we can do this for your family. What's the best time?
Okay. Um, um, morning, mid-morning time is good.
Okay.
Morning time. Mm-hmm.
All right, we're gonna call you tomorrow and see what we can do for your family. All right.
Okay.
And thank you for your support in the academy, and you're doing a great work. That and I can
Thank
understand.
you.
I can understand the fervent spirit to have all your family sit down and take in the word, the excitement of it, and all. So I will give you a call. We have serious rules because there's so many people looking to, that
Yeah.
just break rules and mess the whole thing up for everyone. But I'm going to see what we
And
can
I
do
don't
for your
wanna do
family.
that.
I understand. Thanks for at least reaching out and letting us know what you're, what you were interested in doing as far as being a part of the academy and how you would like to do it. Somehow we can come to an equal medium.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let me call you tomorrow and we'll talk about it. All right.
Okay. Thank you, Elder.
You're welcome. And thanks for all your support, Joyce. Bless you.
Okay. Shalom.
Shalom.
Mhm. Good evening.
Robert has a question.
Shalom.
Shalom, Robert.
Hey, this is Robert.
Yeah, your
This is
phone
Robert.
your phone is messed up a little bit here.
I got it. Shalom, brother.
Shalom, sir. I'm about to break down.
Yeah, I got it real quick. I
Yes.
followed you guys. The blessing. I'm a white, third generational Indian Cherokee. My dad's mother was 100% Cherokee.
Okay.
I'm a white, 62-year-old white male veteran. I followed you guys for 7 years. I give the Most High God a higher through his son Yeshaya, and your blessing, what he showed me. I've been waking up these Christians. It's amazing.
Praise the Most High.
My testimony is so deep. Through this church I left, and it was bad. And my wife is in that church, and I haven't been in that church like 8 years because I'm awake.
Praise the Most High.
I'm awake, and I'm in the Appleton, Wisconsin area,
Yeah.
and I don't know what kind of area you have a code close in Wisconsin.
Appleton, Wisconsin. And you could be reached at this number I'm looking at here that you have here.
Yes, sir. 920.
Oh, no. You'll be getting crank calls from now until Christ returns.
Oh, full five.
All right.
Okay.
Let me. I'll write it down. Don't worry about it. Wisconsin.
Yes, sir.
Indian. All right.
Yeah, if we could talk on a closed channel, you'd be amazed.
No, we're gonna call you. I need to hear this testimony. And a matter of fact, let's make this a public testimony. I'll call you, and I'll probably pull you in on Zoom or something, and you can tell us what have you witnessed since witnessing with this truth. I'm sure.
Well,
I'm sure that would enlighten so many people.
Yeah, but I'm going to speak on the phone because some of this is deep where it's, within the church, somebody got, took his life. And I got a hold of you guys through Ahaya. And when I asked that pastor to pray with me, I wasn't sure, so you got to call me.
Okay, I will call you, my brother. I'll call you, all right? Keep your head up.
It's deep.
All right, I'm going to call you.
Yes, sir. And I'm like 9 to 2 in the mornings. I'm a veteran, so I do a lot of funerals for the deceased veterans.
Yeah.
So I'm doing one tomorrow and 2 Saturdays. So next week would be perfect.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna call you and we can arrange a time we can talk. All right. Bless you, my brother.
Man. Thank you so much. I've been trying to get a hold of you guys for years.
Okay.
I've been following yours in Philly, and then you were in London, weren't you?
Yeah, I was in London. I was in Manchester. Yes, I was
Philadelphia.
Peace FM. I was
went
teaching in
back and
Philadelphia.
watched you guys are deep. You guys deep, and I learned so much about what you said. Once you know the name and how you proved it, there's no J's. Ahaya. Once you know that name, Ahaya, that spirit is just it's the spirit's all over me right now.
Hey, it resonates. It's from here. It resonates to the throne of the Almighty. That's the name. That's the communicator. That's the name we use to resonate directly into the heavens. And the Most High listens. Believe me, He hears it.
And the Shia through Christ, right?
Yep. Ahaya. It's Ahaya. It's Ahaya Bahashim Yeshaya wa Rawak. All right.
Yes, sir. Well, God bless you, and Ahaya through the Most High God of Shia. Call me.
I'm going to call you. Look at that. Bless you.
Okay. Thank you so much. Nice to see you, Elder.
Thank you. And you notice the Most High said, this gospel shall be taught throughout the whole earth. His name will be heard throughout the whole earth. Then the end shall come. Brothers and sisters, the Most High revealed the truth. With that, join the Hebrew Bible Academy. We're ending it off for the next 2 weeks and starting a brand new one in about 3 weeks, and you don't want to miss this. So get in while there's still opportunity. The theme will be linking the precepts, and we're going to link this throughout all of the other records, even the extra biblical text. Come learn your book. With that, thank you, Elder Lawyer. Thank you, brothers and sisters. If I didn't answer the call, don't worry about it. I have a Patreon open line this coming Friday. Please be a part of that. With that, I'm going to say, may the Most High be with you. Stay prayed up, sin not. And keep in mind, the Most High is calling back the lost tribes
Thank
of
you
Israel.
for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Good night.
Sir, shalom.
Shalom. Shalom, my brothers and sisters. Good night.
Together our wives and children then sold us. In the belly of these great ships we traveled in fear. By the rivers of Babylon we found our brothers here. Together us in Colombia, Reuben from Australia, Issachar, the Mexicans. From the gathering the Negroes, Benjamin the West Indians, Levi, the Haitians. The highest gathering in Israel. Colombia, Reuben from Australia, Issachar, the Mexicans. That's who we be, Judah, the Negroes, Benjamin, the West Indians, Levi, the Haitians, Manasseh, the Cubans, Ephraim from Puerto Rico, Naphtali from the Isles of Hawaii. The Lord is calling back Israel. Zebulon from Panama, Gad, the North American Indians, Simeon, the Dominicans. Our highest gathering Israel.